time to go out of the vehicle. You're refusing to get out of the vehicle. You need to step off.
You're arresting someone who's not me.
Today's episode takes us straight into the world where fantasy meets handcuffs. A self-declared private citizen tries to outrun reality law in a cart full of unpaid Target merch.
Kind of accusing you of stealing. You were not? How did they mess that up then? Can you?
I don't know. They probably told us.
Did they try to? Well, I wasn't, but do you know, were they trying to stop you before exiting or no?
No.
Okay, so nothing happened inside the store?
No, I walked out.
Okay, do you have your license with you, please?
No. No, you cannot.
Okay, well, you're detained right now, okay? Until I investigate this thing going on right now.
All right, Mr. Lockhart has a note here on one of these tickets. Did you send a note to the court, Mr. Lockhart?
Yes, I did.
No.
Do not accept your offer to contract and do not agree to these proceedings. All right, so what do you want to do?
I'm here under threat, duress, and coercion. I'd like to say for the record, my name is Jamil of the Family Lockhart.
Let's get the record established. This is the city of Detroit versus Jamel Amir Lockhart. Appearance for the record, please, counselor.
Rita White, House Counsel, on behalf of Mr. Jamil Lockhart.
All right, Mr. Lockhart.
No one is representing me on my behalf. I don't know that.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Lockhart.
Yeah, so I am Jamil of the Family Lockhart, flesh and blood, living man, and attorney in fact for Jamil Lockhart and Legis Trust. I'm here by threat, duress, and coercion. I'm here making a special appearance. And I'm here to demand that the court prove jurisdiction over me as a live flesh and blood man. As I said, I submitted a challenge to jurisdiction. Jurisdiction must be proven and proven on the record. And then also I submitted Freedom of Information Act request for your foreign registration statement and anti-bribery statement, as well as that of prosecutor. There is no contract. Every presentment that was made to me was formally rejected and sent back to the court, which is what you have a copy of by my notary. I do have a live witness notary who can come in and testify to that fact. Given that there is no commercial contract, no commercial agreement, I fail to see how the court has jurisdiction. Furthermore, there's been no injured party. And no, there's been failure to state a claim through a verified affidavit. So if someone can prove to me how this statutory commercial court has some kind of jurisdiction over me as a live flesh and blood human being, I think we could start there.
Well, let's start here. You have a notice is not what you think notice should be. Notice is what is if it's properly effectuated in the court rule. And I'll certainly give you whatever hearing that you want if you file the proper motions and material to contest that. I'll give you an opportunity to be heard on that. But furthermore, what I'm looking at is I have a proof of service.
There is no proof of service that was rejected and sent back to the court. You have a copy of that.
You're not even listening. You're not even gonna listen. I listened to what you said. Are you gonna listen to me?
I am listening to you. I'm just responding to you.
All right. So why don't you listen before you start making statements?
Oh, you had paused. I thought you were finished.
What it isn't.
Well, go ahead.
Are you giving me permission to go ahead now too, right?
I assumed you were done speaking.
All right. Listen, I have an envelope with certified mail. I don't know what I believe the contents have been stapled to the envelope. It's got a proof of service effectuated by Nyla Perrin. I have a signed complaint here, signed by Officer Randy Randolph on 11/19/2019.
Is he here today?
And we can get them in here. Today is only date and time is set for arraignment. So you're just being arraigned and what the arraignment purposes of your arraignment, and let's go through the whole thing, is you're here for a expired plate ticket. That is a civil infraction that carries a $145 fine. There's an allegation that you did not have a drove while license not valid or improper. That is a misdemeanor offense, punishable by 93 days in at the maximum by 93 days in jail and or $500 in fine. On the same day and time, it was an allegation that you did not provide proper insurance. That is a misdemeanor, as is written here, and that is punishable by the maximum possible penalty of 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines. There's also a warrant for your arrest for an allegation of an improper, not valid driver's license. So today is the date and time set for arraignment. You have the option of pleading guilty, not guilty, or standing mute. You stand mute, I'll enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. What would you like to do, sir?
I am here under threat, duress, and coercion to demand
You're
that
not
this
here under threat, duress, or
prove some
coercion.
kind of jurisdiction. And until jurisdiction has been proven, we can go no further. I would also like to ask you, is this proceeding taking place under common law?
This proceeding is taking place in accordance to the court rules and the statutory laws of the state of
good.
Michigan.
So I am not a creature of statute. I am not under statutory law. I would demand that this proceeding take place under common law, as I am a live flesh and blood human being, under no authority but that of God.
All right, I'm not gonna go back and forth. I'm gonna give you another court date. I don't have any,
All I need you to do is prove jurisdiction.
You don't tell me what you need me to do, sir. Don't do that. Just let me finish. We
With
can
all
get
due
this
respect, the
we
court
can get
must
this over
prove
with.
jurisdiction.
I understand that. We can get this over with quicker rather than later if you let me do my job. I don't, what I was trying to say, you're making your claim and stating your case that the court doesn't have jurisdiction over you. In order for me to properly review that and go, it's got to be done according to the court rules. I need a motion, and I will read it. I will read that motion.
I have submitted a motion to dismiss for lack of subject matter jurisdiction.
I don't have it. I don't have it in front of me.
Sovereign citizens are hilarious. They actually believe they can have things their way.
And then I'll give you a motion.
I have a timestamped copy of it if you'd like me to show you.
All right, you got to submit it to the court. Look at the.
It was filed by the clerk just 2 days ago. I have a
Okay, well, it
timestamped
hasn't got
copy
to
of
the
it.
file. It hasn't got to the file. I'm going to give you another pretrial date.
I would like to say I do not consent. The court has to prove jurisdiction. I filed that document a few days ago. Anything short of that is an admission that there is no jurisdiction and we have no further business. We have no contract.
Have a great day, sir.
Jamil of the Family Law Card here.
Okay, you're still. Did you have a question, sir?
None other than just stating that I do not consent to these proceedings and I do
You've
not
already
accept
put
any
that on. You
contract.
already put that on the record.
Good.
You came back in.
I would also like to ask why this Mrs. Rita White had claimed to represent me.
All right, let's go back on the record with Mr. Jamil Lockhart. How old are you, sir?
I am 27.
You're 27 years old, and you go ahead and you ask why Miss White is here to represent you. Well, first and foremost,
Why did she claim to represent me and I have no knowledge?
I'll explain it to you. First and foremost, she's the House Counsel for this evening. So for this afternoon, she represents anybody who wants her representation as far as helping them to navigate and to defend themselves.
I have never expressed that want to her.
This is what you're doing. This is what I want you to do. Any questions?
Why do you talk over people?
Oh, I assume we were having a conversation. I'm sorry. I'll be quiet.
I am trying to have a conversation, but one's got to talk and one's got to listen.
Okay, go ahead.
You asked why Miss White said she represented you. Miss White said she represented you because she didn't know beforehand the position that you were going to take. So she's just
That's
merely
quite an
doing
assumption.
her job.
That is quite an assumption. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, by the name that you put up on there, Jamil of the family Lockhart,
That is
I
my,
wasn't surprised I wasn't surprised the avenue that you were going to take on that. Just
I'm
by the
glad you
name.
recognize
But I
where
can't-
I'm going.
But she's not going to assume. I don't believe she's going to assume that she's going to treat you any differently than anyone else. And then you said that you didn't want her representation, and she.
Wouldn't you agree that for future reference, it might be better to ascertain that kind of information before she makes that kind of statement for everybody?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
So the assumption is that everyone wants her to speak on their behalf.
Yes, until.
Is that not a
until they
rash
say-
assumption?
Until they say differently, like you did.
Okay. Well, again, this whole time, there's a motion before the court to dismiss for lack of subject matter
Well,
jurisdiction.
there's not a motion
There has
before the
been-
court.
What has been filed, I have a timestamp copy of it. I can show you that if you need to see it. But
Okay,
your
well,
clerk
Let me explain
timestamp filed that document.
Let me explain to you. And this is just for your information. You say that you filed it with the court and the clerk down at the window, and I wouldn't disagree with that. But typically you want to, when you do your filings, that's why you want to have a judge's copy, and you want to specifically have that copy hand delivered to the judge's chambers. So we don't rely on the court clerks downstairs at the windows to make sure that these files get put into the proper place. You're not gonna make.
Who do you
that
rely
assumption.
on
Wait a
for
minute.
that?
You're making, and then because you don't want to make that assumption that that file is gonna get into the correct file. You don't want to make that assumption. Would you agree?
Who do you rely on to make sure that filed documents get to the right place, get into
The person that's filing it, yourself.
So it is not, you're telling me it's not the duty of the clerk to ensure that documents are filed in the case where the judge can view those documents. On my capacity, that document was sent to the court. It was sent to the court by a notary. So I do have a live witness to attest to that fact. It has also been timestamped. That was recorded as well. I have checked all my boxes when it comes to notifying the court. I've also given you a demand for your Freedom of Information Act request for
I don't
your
have
foreign
any of that.
registration statement and your anti-bribery statement. The idea or the fact that you do not have that is an issue. And it would mean that you are committing a crime against me and holding this statutory proceeding and trying to confuse me as a live flesh and blood man, that I am a corporation beholden to the corporation which you represent. And that is my main point here today, is to tell you that I am not under your jurisdiction. I am a live flesh and blood man. You've already stated that this is not a common law proceeding. I am under no law but common law. We have no commercial contract which would enter us into any kind of statutory law.
Okay.
So
Sir,
I failed to
let me stop.
see the
Let me
issue.
stop you.
And there's
Let me-
also
let me
no
stop you,
verified complaint with a
Let me
signed
stop you, sir.
affidavit.
Sir, let me stop you. And I'll let you put that on the record. I'll let you put it on the record already. We've already done those things. So, I'm gonna end it.
What you're
I'm gonna
committing
end-
here is a fraud.
Okay,
That's
I'm
what
gonna
you're
end-
participating in.
okay. Whatever your position
And without
is.
without your foreign registration statement, that's an admission that you are here as a criminal actor.
Okay, sir, I'm gonna end the hearing now. Claude.
And I do not consent to
And I'm
any
gonna
further
remove you.
hearings on this issue or this matter. We have no valid contract. We failed to prove jurisdiction. There is no valid claim.
All right, you've
I do
already
not
said
consent.
that, sir. I've already let you make a record, and I don't want you to mention any more because I'm gonna hold you in contempt of court, okay? So I let you make your record.
You
I set a
can
date.
do whatever
March
you feel
15th.
like you need to do. I'm here to
set a
tell
date
you
of
that
March
I am not
25th,
under your
sir.
jurisdiction.
All right, it seems that you really need an education on how this stuff works, and I'm gonna give you one today.
Say they're above the law. The court says otherwise.
On July 17th, 2025, an officer observed a vehicle operating with a defective brake light and initiated a traffic stop.
Hello. Hey, you ain't got one working brake light on the trailer back there.
You get out?
No, stay in the car for me. You have your driver's license on you, sir?
No, sir. Why you pulled me because of that?
Yes. What's that?
Show you something.
What?
Let me show you something.
Oh, okay.
Put my window down.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
And before you call any of your friends,
I'm not.
let me show you this.
Okay.
Because I live by right and law. Don't breathe. Because
Dude,
you're wrong.
let me explain something.
I don't have
This
to-
is just a traffic stop. Why are you turning into something?
Because I don't have to deal with this. I have somewhere I'm going and I know the law. So we're going to go through the law. I don't have to go with what you say is the law because I live by the Constitution. So you saying, oh God.
Sir, can I just have...
This soft kid has no idea what's in the Constitution, but somehow thinks flashing his trust papers won't make him look foolish.
your driver's license,
No,
please?
I don't live by that. Listen.
Do you have your driver's license on you?
Listen.
Because the registered owner of that trailer's driver's license is also showing suspended.
Listen. I'm gonna pull this out, right? And I'm gonna give you the judgment that's going to that.
Okay.
Because we're gonna be here for a while because y'all did this. And I'm gonna explain you the whole situation.
So, license, please.
Listen,
License.
why are you demanding something from me?
I'm asking for your license.
And I'm asking you what right you have. This is what we're gonna go through. See,
No,
y'all
we're
don't
not.
like this.
Now I'm gonna call
but
my
I
friends.
don't call your friends because I'm
Can
finna
I
show.
start some routine?
Okay. I'm
Sir,
gonna show
can I just
you.
have your license? I can get you on your way.
Yes, man, I'm gonna give you this.
This clown, all he has to do is give his license so we can get over it. But with our citizens is so hard-headed. But let's continue to watch the silliness.
This. Read that.
No, I'm okay.
It's your life.
Sir,
Look,
do you have your
look,
driver's
I'm trying
license?
to show you something for your own
No, I
good.
need your driver's license.
Look. This is for you. This is the law that I use. But you don't get to just choose your law.
Sir, do you have your driver's license or
I
not?
don't have a drive. That's
Do you have
Florida's.
a picture ID?
They don't have anything for you.
Okay, do you have insurance on the vehicle?
I don't have it. I don't have to give you anything.
Do you
I'm
have
under no
registration for the
obligation.
vehicle?
You're scaring me.
How am I scaring you?
Because you pulled me over out of nowhere asking me for something.
Right.
And under the Constitution right now,
Okay.
I'm telling you, I'm invoking the United States Constitution due process clause. I do not have any duty.
Do you have identification?
I'm telling you, I'm going to enforce it.
Okay.
I know all the federal codes.
Can I have your first name?
No.
Okay, what do you think the solution is here today?
The solution is for you to go by law. You want me to adhere to your Florida law, and I adhere to the Constitution. Now we're at odds.
Okay.
But now there's a supremacy clause.
Stay here for me. Don't leave. You're not allowed to leave yet, okay?
What?
I'm going to go run some stuff in the vehicle. Do not leave. If you leave,
Don't run nothing
don't
on my.
leave.
Don't touch my. Please, listen, go.
No, it's just start them expedited. Let me go look at your vehicle real fast. I'll be right back, okay? Do not leave.
Poor thing, this sovereign is dumber than a box of rocks.
Call us 911 because you're assaulted.
If you call 911, you're going to go to jail.
Okay, so come back.
Okay, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. This is stop sticks in case you decide to leave.
I'm not going nowhere.
Okay, sir, do you have your ID on you?
Listen. Now you're assaulting.
How am I assaulting you?
You just put something.
What's the
there
definition of assault to you?
This is my property. I labor for
Can I
it.
explain this to you? An officer is coming on scene now. You're going to go to jail today.
Okay, for what?
Okay. Won't provide your identification.
I don't
You're
have
impeding my investigation.
What's the law? What's the law?
I don't know. Apparently you know it better than me.
Okay,
So
I
when
do.
you get with your defense attorney, provide all your paperwork in front of the judge.
The law said if it's the law, it doesn't begin then. It's now. You just said you don't know the law, but I do.
Sir, you need to step out.
Can you please?
Why are you?
This is Officer.
Why do they always have to take it this far? It never changes with this.
Leonard.
Get out.
Don't touch.
Don't touch me.
Don't
Don't touch me. Get off my car. Get off my car.
Start some
Get
others
off my car.
expedited. Refusing to get out.
I was super calm and nice with him. You know.
Hey man, we just want to talk to you. That's not going to stop. It's not. Sure, hand it to me. Yeah, I'm more than happy to, in fact, if you don't want to talk to me, man. You're going to go to jail the hard way. Your car's going to get rain in it, man.
I don't care about
So you don't care if it gets rain all in it from when it gets broken? It is going to get broken. Here, you want to hand it to me? Do you want to hand it to me? I can't hear you through the window. I can't hear you.
my window down.
Okay.
I'm not scared.
Perfect.
But I want y'all.
I'm not scared of you either, but I don't want to break your window if we don't have to.
Why are you going to violence?
Unless you're going to step out of the car, that's what's going to happen.
Listen. Everybody
I'm
here.
listening.
Listen, everybody here is a man.
Okay.
Listen, I know the law, and I know I'm enforcing my rights, and I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, right now you're misunderstanding the law, man.
That's what I'm trying to tell you all. All of you are trying to commit a crime. Okay, I know the code, so I'm trying to.
Can I explain something to you?
Listen.
Then why should I listen to you if you're not willing to listen to me?
I want to talk.
I don't want to do violence. I would like you to step out.
Why are y'all putting all this stuff? I never said I was going to run. Why do you assume I'm going to run?
Perfect. I don't want you to run. You don't want to run.
So
We're in agreement with that.
Make a deal.
Good. Step out for me.
Listen, I don't have to run. I'm going to put my window more down.
Okay. Great.
Back up. I talk to you because you're reasonable.
Perfect.
Back up. Can we all comply?
Can you guys take like a half step for me? Okay. Look, they backed up.
Let's go through the law. Y'all
Perfect.
say y'all live by law. I have the rights to do what I'm doing.
Sure. Can you show me where it says that?
You're supposed to know the Constitution.
Well, you have it in your hand.
Yes, I do, but I don't. Listen. The
Yeah,
law
I'd love to.
You don't get excused for ignorance.
Okay.
Let me let this.
Well, can you educate me?
Don't grab me.
This isn't me grabbing you. I'm literally pointing at myself.
Good. Let me get out the fucking car. Y'all doing all
come
this
on
shit
out,
for
man.
nothing.
Come on out.
No, y'all remove. Listen. When y'all,
Okay, then
when
what's
y'all,
going on?
Here, take that.
Yeah, show me.
You trying to be?
His soft set paperwork is about as good as what is printed on.
No, I want you to explain to me. If you say you know it, help me understand.
A little bit. I like what y'all doing, so now we getting somewhere. I don't want to go through all this.
Okay.
Because y'all are wrong regardless.
Okay.
Because y'all don't know the law. And then when y'all meet people who do, y'all don't want to respect.
So
What
where
you
in the
don't
piece of paper that you handed me says this?
Listen, this?
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you a quick way you should know this.
Okay.
You been to traffic court?
Okay.
You been to traffic court?
I have been to traffic court.
Where's the jury at?
Well, it depends. Are you
Ain't
going?
no jury.
No. Can you answer my question, right? Are you going in?
Wait a minute. Why would you need a jury unless it's a felony? Why would you need a jury? Anyway, they make my head hurt sometimes.
Front of a judge for a civil infraction.
Call it a judge.
You want me to ask a question, right?
Okay.
I would love to ask it.
Okay.
Is it a civil infraction or a crime?
Civil. The same thing that you're attempting to do.
Okay, so then you don't usually have a jury for an administrative action. But right now, by not stepping out, this is where the crime is, man.
Look.
Okay.
Sir, jury.
Magna Carta.
Yeah,
that
I'm
says
entitled
before
to a
the
jury. That's due process.
What's that year? What's that year right there where it's? I'm trying to point. I'm asking a question.
Why y'all always gotta be so violent? Look,
How is this? Hey, can you help me understand how this is violent?
Because you're look
I'm
up under my
standing?
tire. Look at my tire. Look at I haven't even
The
threatened
round
to
things
run.
on
I
your
don't
car?
have anything to run for. I'm not gonna
Perfect.
run from you.
Good, yeah, it'd be hard to. There's a car in front of you.
I don't move the car. I'm not gonna run.
I don't have those keys, man. So listen.
Okay, so look.
You wanted to educate me about that. I've got a question about it.
Okay.
So you're educating me. You know, like students ask teachers questions, right? So if you're educating, let me
I'm
ask
not
a question.
student, but I'm not a student. I'm not a teacher.
In this scenario, I would be.
Why?
Because you're educating
threatening
me.
Violence. How can you be a student
Sure,
and
can you tell me when I threatened you violence?
Look at my tire.
Okay.
Look at my
Can you-
tire. Look at my tire.
So do you want to point it out or no?
They're plotting, and now you're getting this. Listen, I'm gonna tell you how it's going.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Tell me all about it, man.
Middle District of Florida.
Okay.
The federal.
Okay.
That's who's gonna come get y'all.
Okay.
Because I'm pleading with you. I even called 911, and I'm
Okay.
telling you that I have a right to enforce code just like you.
All right.
The United States Constitution, I can use that just like you're using code.
Okay.
If I choose to invoke it, you can't overthrow it by Florida law. There's a supremacy clause
Okay.
in the Constitution, right? And so if you want something from me, I'm invoking my right to service a process. For this thing you call civil, go get a service of process, have the lawyer bring it to my house, the sheriff, have him bring it to my house. That's the law.
Okay.
Wait. I think I'm starting to realize some of these sovereign citizens are starting to drink way too much of their own Kool-Aid.
Right now, what
If
you're
you
doing
have-
is criminal.
It's not criminal.
How is it criminal?
I don't live by permission. You can't give me permission. I bought this.
Are you going to step out or no? Okay. Are you going to? I'm asking you a question. It's yes or no.
It's not criminal.
Hey, are you going to step out? Yes or no? That's the question. It's a simple one.
Yeah.
Yes. I invite you to. Michael, are you going to step out? Michael, are you going to step out? Yes or no? All right. Joey, you're up. If you want to explain to him.
Hello, Michael. Hey, you've been legally stopped for a traffic violation. You have an equipment violation on the trailer. Your driver's license is shown
I've been told a hard head make a soft behind. I think this sovereign is going to find out the hard way.
suspended at the moment. We're going to give you one more opportunity. This is the last opportunity. If you do not step out to be placed on arrest, we will break this window and we will pull you out, okay? How you decide that happens, that's on you. Are you willing to step out, Michael? Are you willing to step out? Okay, he's bracing himself for the glass impact.
Push. Hold on.
Hey, Chris, go over that, not the middle.
I only got these ones. That's why I hate that window tint.
Hey, don't hit his head.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, push it out, Michael. Can you bow it out?
I'm breaking my window. I paid for it.
Can you bow it out? Do you want to step out, Michael?
Break my window.
Michael, would you like to step out now?
Right.
Michael, would you like to step out? Okay.
All of y'all are going to jail. They tricked you.
It's the 10.
We're definitely experiencing a safe light moment.
There you go.
Safe light repair, safe light replace.
Have to step on out now.
Tail light.
Get off.
Step out.
Listen, get off.
Step out.
Get off.
Step out of the car.
You're a criminal.
Let's go.
Stop committing crimes.
Let's go.
Lock his ass up. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. Stop committing crime.
All right, come on, buddy.
Stop committing crime. This is my property. Listen,
Step out.
listen.
We don't want to hurt. Turn around.
Listen, this is my property.
Turn around.
Hold your hands.
Let go.
My property.
I don't want you to step the
My
ball, man.
property. Oh, God, y'all such. Y'all need to listen, nothing. I'm not a slave. I'm not a slave. Stop assaulting me. Stop assaulting me. Stop.
There you go. One.
Stop assaulting me.
A little lower. A little lower. That's two. Got it. Good. It's fine.
It doesn't matter. I'm under no obligation. No duty.
Lock his ass up.
You're going to jail. You're going to jail. Take this
Hey, it's your boy as always. We got a joke on here on this. He's in the state of Maryland. Got pulled over by the popos. Reading out of Sovereign Citizen books written straight out of crayons. That's what I said, crayons. I'm not playing. Listen to this joker talk nonsense. We're going to go in and listen to what this crazy boy he's going to say. Let's go and get this started right quick.
I'm peaceably refusing to leave my personal property. They're about to break my window, which I'm pressing charges about. Yes, sir.
The reason I stopped you, your bike rack on the back, it's covering the license plate so it can't be read. Your center brake light's out. Okay, do you have your license registration card, sir?
No, I sure don't.
Okay. Just have to let you know we record video and all.
Yeah, I'm recording as well. For both
I'm
of
just
you.
required. You don't have your license with you?
I sure don't.
Okay. Do you have one in Maryland?
No, I don't have a license.
You don't have one at all?
No.
Do you have any ID with you?
ID is required for what's the emergency, officer? Why am I being the stop in general? I'm confused. Like,
It's a violation of the Maryland Transportation Ordinance. That's why I said.
yeah, but that doesn't apply to me. I'm not a part of the Maryland Transportation Union. Like, that doesn't apply to private citizens. That applies to people that's a part of the United States Constitution. That applies to people that's a part that has consent with the United States Constitution. I didn't sign. I'm not a part of that.
Okay, well, you're driving a vehicle.
I'm not driving a vehicle. This is an automobile.
Okay,
a
we're
consumer
driving
good. Yeah.
What this dude act like he's driving a dog? Seriously. You're not part of. I think he said he wasn't part of the Constitution. He didn't sign anything. You driving a vehicle. You need license and insurance. But let's continue to see what other nonsense is going to spew out of his batshit crazy head.
What is your last name, sir?
I don't answer questions about why do you need my name? What
Because
crime?
it's required that I document that I stopped you, sir.
But you're not supposed to be stopping me by law because I haven't committed a crime.
Right, you didn't commit a crime. You
Right.
committed a violation. of the Maryland
Violations
Transportation-
don't apply to private citizens. Crime does.
No, sir, it does.
No, sir, it doesn't. No, sir, it doesn't. I'm recording as well.
Okay, that's
You
fine.
took an oath for the Constitution, right?
Sir, do you have an ID?
You
with
took
you?
an
You want
oath
me to
of-
supply me with your information?
Why do I need to supply you?
Because you're driving a vehicle.
Am I under
sir.
custodial arrest?
You're not under arrest.
So why do I even need to answer a question?
You don't need to answer a
Oh,
question.
so why are you
I'm
asking me
for your
questions?
information.
What do you need my information for?
Because I need to identify you.
You
I'll
don't
explain
need to
it you.
identify me if I haven't committed a crime.
Okay, well, here's the issue.
It's no issue. You're making an issue right
You
now.
can either supply me with your information
Oh.
so I can identify you, or else you're going to be arrested.
Arrested under what grounds?
Because I don't know who you are.
What
You're-
crime have I committed? Right now, you're breaking the Constitution. You're going to arrest me and you have no crime. Who said that I committed something? Who was damaged? Where's the damaged party? You have to point them out. That's a crime. I'm sitting here with paperwork now.
What this fool doesn't realize, and this is common phrase or wording that sovereign citizens like to use. There's not an injured party. Where in this case with the traffic violation, the injured party is the state. And so they try to mix their words around thinking that the injured party actually has to be a human being. It does not. The state could be the injured party. You violated the transportation laws. You're driving without a license. That's good enough to have you in some wrist warmers. I wish this would be the case, but we're going to stay tuned and see what happens.
And you're still going to stand here thinking that you're an authority. You're not. We're recorded for all our safety right now. So what am I going to be arrested for?
For not identifying yourself.
I don't have to identify myself unless it's a crime. You're lying right now.
It's not a crime.
Do you know what a crime is by the United States
I never said you
Constitution?
committed a crime. I said you committed a violation.
So
of the Maryland
you
Transportation.
cannot have your property or your personal being touched if you did not commit a crime.
He's talking about unreasonable search and seizure, which has nothing to do with this case. Absolutely not. The Constitution prevents unreasonable search and seizures of your property without probable cause or good cause for that to happen. He's just misusing the Constitution to try to benefit him, which is a common tactic of sovereign citizens.
It has to be a crime. Again, where's the crime?
Sir, there can be a violation
What
of
you're lying under oath right now. You're recorded. I'm not.
And that is it. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
The dangerous effects of sovereign citizen ideology on your mind. Sovereign citizen ideology is more than just an internet trend. It can have serious impacts on the way people view authority, society, and even their personal safety. In this video, We dive into the psychological effects of sovereign citizen beliefs, exploring how adopting these ideas can distort perceptions of reality and potentially lead to risky behavior. Join us to learn why this mindset can be dangerous, both legally and mentally, and what warning signs to watch out for.
Right. Perfect. So Ms. Pugh, Mr. Jeffries has been appointed to represent you. He's just been given, he's trying to get caught up real quickly on all the information and the discovery in your case. I'm going to reset your case so that he can get all of that. Once he gets it, he'll be out there to go over it with you, and we'll see if we can get an announcement at the next court date.
Respectfully, Your Honor, I do not agree to comply with any of your appointed court agents, considering that their first duty is to the state.
I understand. We've had this conversation before.
And for your record, I'll be representing myself.
So if you want to represent yourself, there's some things. Ms. Pugh, stop talking over me. If you want to stop talking over me. If you want to represent yourself, then there is a process that we have to go through, and we'll do that today if that's what you want to do. We'll get your case set for trial and we'll go forward that way. It is highly inadvisable for you to represent yourself. Lawyers have many, many years of training. They understand the law. They understand how a trial works, because here's what happens. When you're in a trial and you represent yourself, you are expected to know and follow all of the rules of evidence, all the rules of procedure. And so you're really at a disadvantage if you don't know those things. And so you have to do everything just like the assistant district attorney would. And if you don't, you're going to be in front of a jury and it's going to show, and it's just not going to be, it usually does not work out in your benefit. But I have to go through with you some questions first before we do that. And then if you still want to do that, then there's a couple of things couple of options, and we'll go over those as well. Okay. So I am supposed to ask you, I'm going to go through these questions. I need you to answer them if you want to represent yourself, because this is required. All right. So have you ever studied the law? Okay. Have you ever represented yourself before in any kind of criminal matter? Okay. Do you understand the charges against you? Okay. And so do you know, and we've gone over before, I think, what the range of punishment is if you're found guilty on a jury? Do you know what that is? Let's see. Hold on a second. Let me pull you up here. We'll go over that again as well. The date of that allegations from June 22nd of 2021. And what that means is if you're found guilty, that the range of punishment that the jury could give you is between 2 years as a minimum punishment up to 10 years in prison, anywhere in between. Do you understand? And you answer out loud just for the record.
Do I understand? No, I don't understand.
What do you not understand about that?
I don't understand, Your Honor.
So here's the thing. If you want to represent yourself by law, you have to be able to understand these things. Otherwise, I've got to appoint an attorney for you. So you can't just say, I want to represent myself because I don't like the attorney or I don't like the process. This is the process that you're in. You live in Texas, you live in the United States. This is the law that applies to your case. So what do you not understand about the range of punishment if you're found guilty? And I'd be glad to explain it.
I don't understand because I have no idea anything wrong.
That's what a jury's for, right? And so if you say you're not guilty, then you go in front of a jury and they determine, after they listen to the evidence, if you're guilty or not. That doesn't have anything to do with if they find you guilty, you understanding that they could send you to prison for between 2 years and up to 10 years. Do you understand that part? What are you, yes or no? No, you don't understand that. So, Ms. Pugh, it's my understanding, I'm not going to allow you to represent yourself because you don't understand the law and the process. So we're on question number 4 out of 15 that I'm supposed to ask you. So Mr. Jeffries is going to stay on your case. I don't care what you want at this point. You can't do it. All right, you can go back with the bailiff. I'm done. Go back with the bailiff. Go back with the bailiff. Welcome to the criminal appointment list. This was not meant to be any kind of punishment, I promise. So Mr. Jeffries, just, get ready like you would. Probably it's going to go straight onto a jury. And we'll just get it figured out that way. All right.
In conclusion, this young woman is completely out of her depth. She wants to represent herself but doesn't fully understand her charges or the law. The judge, recognizing this, is doing his best to protect her rights by assigning her a lawyer to guide her through the process. Sovereign citizen argues with police. A wife baby watches. Car is towed at home.
The cops just pulled us over right outside of our house. As soon as we pulled up to the house, we got our baby in the car. So they getting out.
I'm coming.
How you doing today?
How may I help you, officer?
You may help me by giving me your license, registration, and insurance.
Before we get there, I need you to give me your badge number. I'm recording for my protection. Where's your body camera at?
I don't have a body camera.
Okay. I need your...
My badge number is 3420.
3420. I need your name and I need your bond claim number.
Okay. License, registration, insurance.
I will identify myself.
Okay.
I need you to identify yourself first.
I'm Officer Kincaid, badge number 3420.
Bond claim number, please.
License, registration, insurance, please.
Bond claim number.
All right, sir.
Excuse me, can you give him your license, registration, and insurance? We have our child in the car. I'm not doing it.
Okay. Don't make this any more difficult than it needs to be.
And we're right outside of our home. We live right there.
License, registration, insurance.
Don't do it with my kid in the car. I'm not doing this. You can stand up for yourself another time. I'm not getting killed with my kid in the car.
Nobody getting killed?
Yeah, right. You stupid. You black. Give up the ID, the registration, whatever.
I actually don't have to identify myself.
Well, you do, or you go to jail. I'm not doing this.
Why are you pulling me over?
You have your center brake light out, sir.
What's the center brake light?
The center brake light is that brake light right in there.
And if you left something in the house, they can escort me in there until I can get it.
If there's going to be any more problems, I'm going to request a
he's letting you know that your light's out, so say thank you. Damn. I'm not doing this with my kid in the car. Listen, you can do all of that. Identify yourself, and he gave you his badge number and all. You
gotta give me his bond claim number.
What the fuck is a bond? He probably don't even know what a bond claim number is.
He know what a bond. They're bonded. All them cops are bonded.
Okay, check your attitude. Cause soon as they pulled you over, you straight had an attitude from jump. Cause your center brake light out. They ain't even talk to you all crazy. You start talking to them all crazy. Right, you could do that shit when you get pulled over by yourself, not with my kid in the car. Sit here and watch them kill a fucking man over driver's license, registration, insurance. Cause I'm traveling. I'm not doing it. And you need to check your attitude. But she trying to get shot up right outside the house. They argue with these people all day. They don't even know the law that well. All they know is point and shoot if you don't comply. I can't even believe you're gonna try that shit with your baby in the car. Excuse me, officer?
Yes. I'm not gonna look.
My daughter has a G-tube and a heart problem. I have to get her back onto her heart monitor. You know how long it's gonna take? Because we live right there in the house. Okay.
Sir, I have some bad news for you. Your vehicle registration expired May 31st. Okay? According to the laws of Philadelphia, I have to live stop your vehicle. It means it's going to be towed by the Philadelphia Parking Authority.
You have registration?
I need those keys, please, sir.
Yeah, I need the supervisor.
Okay, that's fine. I'm still going to need those keys.
I need the supervisor.
All right.
I'm traveling in my personal vehicle.
Okay.
I don't have to have my car registered with the state.
Okay, but you did at one point though, right?
Before I knew the law.
Okay. When did you know the laws?
I'm starting to study now.
Okay. So you want a supervisor. I'm going to need those keys. Once you give me the keys, I'll call for the supervisor.
I'll need your supervisor. Man.
All right, sir. It's not going to end well. I'm going to let you know that right now.
You can't take my car.
I can take your car.
Sir,
I
the
have to
car's
take
not
your car.
registered to the state.
It is registered to the state.
I'm going to yo, man, you
Sir?
can't take my car, man.
Sir?
A few moments later.
Look at my sovereign citizen husband, a Moore. Would he want to be a Moore citizen? He have a right to travel. He ain't got to re-register his car, and it only costs $70. Y'all niggas on here making this YouTube shit talking about you cannot register your car. Here come the tow truck to impound that shit. Talking about you ain't got to register your car. You have a right to travel and all of this crazy shit. And you ain't got to pay bills or do nothing like that. Look, they impounding his shit. Thanks a lot, honey. We can't make it to our daughter's doctor's appointments. You can't go to work. You can't do shit because you trying to be a more citizen. And look, the cops is impounding your shit. So first the car, next thing it'll be the house, and your credit score drop. Thanks a lot, more citizens. You fucked up my life.
You need a driver's license. You need to provide identification.
I just gave you identification.
If you don't provide identification, you're going to be taken to jail.
Sovereign citizen gets windows smashed after refusing to exit during traffic stop. In this intense traffic stop, a self-proclaimed sovereign citizen refuses to exit their vehicle after being pulled over by the police. Claiming they don't recognize the officer's authority, things escalate quickly, resulting in the car windows being shattered. Watch as the situation unfolds and see how the sovereign citizen's defiance leads to dramatic consequences. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more shocking sovereign citizen encounters and legal insights.
Have a license.
You don't have one at all? Do you have any ID with you?
ID is required for what's the emergency, officer? Why am I being? The stop in general. I'm confused. Like
Violation of the Maryland Transportation Act. That's why I said.
Yeah, but that doesn't apply to me. I'm not a part of the Maryland Transportation Union. That doesn't apply to private citizens. That applies to people that's a part of the United States Constitution. That applies to people that's a part that has consent with the United States Constitution. I didn't sign. I'm not a part of that.
Okay, well, you're driving a vehicle.
I'm not driving a vehicle. This is an automobile.
Okay, we're
a consumer good.
Yeah. What is your last name, sir?
I don't answer questions about why do you need my name? What
because
crime?
It's required that I document that I stopped you, sir.
But you're not supposed to be stopping me by law because I haven't committed a crime.
Right, you didn't commit a crime. You committed a violation of the
Violations don't apply to private citizens. Crime does.
No, sir, it does.
No, sir, it doesn't. No, sir, it doesn't. I'm recording as well.
Okay, that's
You
fine.
took an oath for the Constitution, right?
Sir, do you have an ID?
You took an
you want
oath.
me to supply me with your information?
Why do I need to supply you?
Because you're driving a vehicle.
Am I under
sir.
custodial arrest?
You're not under arrest.
So why do I even need to answer a question?
You don't need to answer a question.
So why are you
I'm
asking me
for your
questions?
information.
What do you need my information for?
Because I need to identify you.
You don't need to identify me if I haven't committed a crime.
Okay, well, here's the issue.
It's no issue. You're making an issue right
You
now.
can either supply me with your information so I can identify you, or else you're going to be arrested.
Arrested under what grounds?
Because I don't know who you are.
What crime have I committed? Right now, you're breaking the Constitution. You're going to arrest me and you have no crime. Who said that I committed something? Who was damaged? Where's the damaged party? You have to point them out. That's a crime. I'm sitting here with paperwork now, and you're still going to stand here thinking that you're an authority. You're not. We're recorded for all our safety right now. So what am I going to be arrested for?
For not identifying yourself.
I don't have to identify myself unless it's a crime. You're lying right now.
It's not a crime.
Do you know what a crime is by the United States
I never said you
Constitution?
committed a crime. I said you committed a violation.
So you cannot have your property or your personal being touched if you did not commit a crime. There has to be a crime. Again, where's the crime?
There can be a violation.
What you're lying under oath right now. You're recorded. I'm not. Did I just not tell you I'm not under transportation article?
Do you want
now,
to
now
supply
you're
me with
moving
your
backwards.
information? Yes
You
or
do
no?
not need information.
Are you going to
This is
supply
what you're
me
going to
with
get from me. This is it. If this not sufficient, you're going
Let me see what you have
to
there.
you're going to break into my private property and then you're going to kidnap me, right?
No, I'm not going to
Yeah.
kidnap you.
Check that out. I got plenty of it. Check it out. Read that,
Is your
officer.
information in here, sir?
You don't need my information. You're redundant right now. You're not getting any information from me because you don't deserve to have it. If it's not a crime, you're not even supposed to stop me. Do you know that, officer? Without a crime, you can't stop. It's 100% true. Can I see a photo ID of you? I need your photo ID.
Oh, sure. You show me your photo ID. I'll show
No,
you mine.
you're a public servant. That's what you are. I'm not. I'm a private citizen on the
but
land.
you're operating a motor vehicle.
You are lying right now.
Okay.
Right now, you're
I'll
just a
give this
regular
back to you.
person.
Okay, sit tight. I'll be up.
Part 2. I'm pulled over. Part 2. Driving without a license. Driving without a license. Got pulled over by the police. The first officer just called his backup, and I'm quite sure he never heard about any of this before, so he had to go get his supervisor.
Alright, sir.
Yes?
Are you gonna give me your information? Or
I'm not giving anything. Am I under arrest for anything?
You will be unless you identify.
I will be under arrest for what? Under what grounds? What's the emergency?
I didn't say there was an emergency.
Well, if it's no emergency, what is the arrest for? Like, what's happening? What's going to happen right now is going to be bad. It's going to end bad because we're all recorded right now. And what you're trying to do is assume authority that you don't have. What I'm being very lawful right now. I'm within the law. And what you're trying to do, it's not going to work out. I'm trying to help you out right now.
Right.
You're assuming that you have an authority. No, you're not, because you're not, because I haven't committed a crime. Do you understand? I haven't committed a crime. You're not even supposed to be talking to me. I'm a free man in transit right now. You stopped me for no reason. You need to know what civil codes are and what crime is. I'm talking to you like a calm man. We're being recorded. You got us flanked right now by your partner. You are so out of line right now. You can't even come in my car. This is a private vehicle. You have to ask me out of it. If you come in here and do anything, you just trespass.
Are you going to exit the vehicle?
I'm not exiting the vehicle. Under what grounds? You have no grounds. You're just going to try to bully. You don't even understand right now because it's who you are. It's who y'all are as a people. You refuse to You're here to keep the law, and I'm within the law, and you refuse because your pride is messed with now, because I know I'm holding it right here. You're refusing, and we're recorded. We're recorded. Yeah, but you're in the wrong. I don't have any reason to give you anything. And if I'm under custodial arrest, I'm going to stop talking. Am I under custodial arrest right now?
You're being detained right now.
Well, I'm not talking right now.
Are you going to exit the car?
Mad around the back of the vehicle, playing like they have authority. I have no authority. It's no reason for me to be stopped. I repeated it. And it's a peaceful detest. Like, I'm telling you what the law is. I'm showing it. I'm not getting out of my vehicle. I have no reason to get out of my vehicle. They can call the whole force here. I'm not getting out of my vehicle. And I'm going to drive away. Or it's going to be problems civil rights wise. And I can use the money, and it's not going to be against the police force. It's going to be against that personal officer. Now I need you to identify yourself, because you haven't properly identified yourself. Now you just a man outside my car with a gun. We have to go to that, because I asked this officer for a photo ID to see what corporate, or not even officer, this person, because you're only an officer if I committed a crime, which is an emergency, damage to somebody or their property. It needs to be a witness charging me with whatever he's talking about, because he's an observer to some violations that clearly I'm not a part of. I'm a free man and not a part of this United States of America thing where you need a driver's license in capital letters, a birth certificate and not a live certificate of birth, and a social security card, which is something that only like federal agents are supposed to have. So I'm gonna sit tight and see what happens. This is the part where they try to wait you out, like the duress part. This is what will happen when like normal people that don't know the law, like you go to pieces while you waiting. They like, oh, we got something on you. They have nothing on you. If you haven't committed a crime, nobody pointed you out, said you did this to them, it's no crime. This is the part where they pretend like they have the authority. But what you have to do is you still have to act peacefully. Like they want me to act out. If I act out, then they have cause. I guess that falls under mayhem or public nuisance. That's why cops always say shit like calm down. They're trying to promote a narrative like they're recording at your wild. But as long as you talk in a conversational tone, don't get all expressive and shit, you're fine. They don't have the authority to pull you over. This is an illegal stop because no one said I committed a crime. He's coming off like, oh, you got a violation, I can't see your license plate. I don't even need a license plate on the car. That's what the law is, because I don't have to register it. It's a personal good, a household good. So when you don't...
Automobiles and cars are not considered household goods, and they must be registered in one of the 50 states or Washington, D.C. The only exception is if the vehicle remains parked on private property. Once it is driven on public roads, it must be registered and insured. Sovereign citizen claims that argue otherwise are baseless and have no support in any court within the United States.
What did I say my rate was? $100 an hour? That's pretty cheap. I should charge more. I should give myself a raise right here because it's raining outside. On rainy days, it costs more because of travel. You know what I'm saying? While I'm traveling and not driving my car, while I'm traveling and my consumer good to the place that I have to go inside to make my commerce. You know what I mean? Free man on the land, that kind of stuff.
The land of make-believe.
But he knows though, like they can't stand down. That's the thing about it. This is America on a whole. And when I talk about the construct, when I'm talking about white versus Caucasian, this is what I'm talking about. Right now, this is the white man in them. Like, this is that no matter if you have the right or not, like, I don't give a fuck is what I say. And this is the problem with this country in a whole. These are the people that racism exists in, while they look like all the other people. This is police, right? This motherfucker right here, he a regular citizen off the clock. And what I'm talking about, hold up for him too, but since this is his job, he gonna go hard with it and try to make, here come the third cop now. They gonna all get the same thing. You're gonna get, it's not gonna change. It's not, nothing's gonna change. You're gonna need the supervisor out here. And it don't matter. I already told them. I already showed them this, so they can try to take it all they want. And actually, I'm gonna give it to them. This above all of their pay grade and shit. They trumping people like, I got something in the car. I'm lawful right now. Y'all the ones that's not lawful. Y'all talking about a legal system versus a lawful system. The Constitution is the law of the land.
Sovereign citizens love to reference the Constitution, but they selectively follow the parts that suit their beliefs. I wonder if they've ever heard of the 10th Amendment, which grants states the right to self-govern. As long as state laws don't violate federal law, states can be more restrictive, but not less restrictive.
Pulled over.
I apologize, man. I legitimately can't hear you. But...
There's no crime committed, so you guys shouldn't be pulling me over.
Well, there's a traffic violation.
I said crime. You talking violation. The law of the land, the law of the letter versus the color of the law, all right? Like, you know what a violation is versus the law? What the police has jurisdiction over private citizens about is crime. Me hurting somebody at their property, right? That's what crime is.
That's part of it.
No, that's crime. That's what I fall under. What you have a jurisdiction. When I succumb to your orders is when I violate somebody's property or them. This is some civil nonsense. This is violations in code.
Very minor.
It's so minor that it's not a part of who I am because my car is an automobile. It's not what you're talking about. I'm not a part of any of that you're talking about. I explained this to your officers, but y'all still here. And you haven't identified yourself. Anybody got a photo ID?
See, no, I already identified myself.
No, you haven't. I need a photo ID because you work for a corporation. Otherwise, I'm talking to a regular man right now. Under what grounds?
This is your final warning.
Under what grounds? Why are you arresting me?
We don't want to do that.
Listen, we're not going to play this game. You're going to have to break into my private property and then kidnap me. That's what you're going to do.
See, I would hate...
No, that's what you're going to do. If that's what you're going to do, we're not going to bargain that out because I know my rights. And you're going to come to court, not the police department, you, because that's who I'm going to file the suit against about violating my civil rights.
Well, you absolutely have to
that is my right. And here you are.
This could go one of two ways.
Right now, I'm not talking anymore. I'm under custodial arrest. This is what I'm saying at this point.
You're being detained right now. You don't need to be arrested. I mean, it's going to come to that if you fail to identify yourself, unfortunately. But we don't want it to come to that. I'm quite sure you don't want it to come to that. So, if you have anything with your name on it, we can handle the traffic violation. We can all move on about our day. Are you not going to do that, sir?
One of y'all gonna read me my rights, or am I gonna hold that against y'all too?
No.
Because I'm under custodial arrest right now. I need to be Miranda. Y'all think it's a game. I'm not playing. All you had to do was read what I gave you, and I could have been on my way. But y'all want to violate my Constitution, right?
Okay, sir. So you're not going to supply any identification?
So for what? For what need?
It's a yes or no.
What need? What crime was committed? Again.
I've explained that.
What crime? No, you haven't. Neither one of you have explained the crime. I'm using crime on purpose. You should know what's going on right now, but y'all still playing this role.
I know exactly what's going on.
Okay, well, what you're gonna have to do is come in my personal property and pull me out and kidnap me. That's what you're gonna have to do because right now you don't have any jurisdiction over me because I haven't committed a crime. And we can go through all of this, or it could be simple and I could go about my way to the market like I was doing. That's what can happen. That's the only thing that's gonna happen. Or you two are gonna be cited for civil violations. I'm telling you.
I'm absolutely fine with that.
Okay. The VIN number's right there. Only thing you can check this car for is to see if it was stolen. That's it. That's what you have jurisdiction over. That. See if the car's stolen.
I'm gonna ask you to exit the vehicle.
I'm not getting out of my personal vehicle, my personal consumer good. You're gonna have to break in my personal vehicle and kidnap me. That's what's gonna happen.
Please don't make us break your vehicle.
Listen, hey, listen. Do what y'all need to do. Do what you need to do. I'm not getting out of my personal vehicle. Take it as far as you need to take it.
You're being absolutely silly right now.
Okay, I'm keeping my. You trying to violate my constitution and telling me I'm being silly?
All right now you are under arrest. Please exit your vehicle.
I'm not leaving anything. I'm not under arrest because I haven't committed a crime. I'm peaceably refusing to leave my personal property. I'm peaceably refusing to leave my personal property. That's what's happening. I'm not getting out of my personal property. Violate my constitution. And why are you touching my personal property? I'm asking these officers these people to remove their hand from my personal property. That's what's happening right now. My personal property. So if you come in here, that's what you're facing, officer. And you guys don't even know the law.
All right. Again, I'm going to ask you, please exit the vehicle, sir.
They're about to break my window, which I'm pressing charges about. I'm not leaving my vehicle. Get out of here.
In conclusion, sovereign citizens just refuse to learn. This particular one will likely have their windows smashed out, something that could have easily been avoided, but they insist on being right despite having no real understanding of the law. Because they continually refuse to obey and fail to learn from their mistakes, we can expect to see them get their car towed, their windows shattered, dragged out of their vehicle, and lose in court yet again. Can you really avoid getting your car towed by claiming right to travel? In this video, we dive into the controversial right to travel argument that some people use to avoid getting their cars towed or ticketed, claiming they're not driving commercially. We'll explore the legal basis or lack thereof for this argument, break down what the law really says about public roadway use, and discuss some real-world examples of people challenging law enforcement on this topic. Is it legitimate or just a myth? Find out here.
I need your driver's license insurance.
I don't need to provide any of that.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Broad Street.
You think so? That's not me, just so you know.
Okay. That's magistrate. You have to plead guilty or not guilty within 10 business days. If you plead guilty, you pay the fine.
Here, my love.
The judge will set up a date and time. Do you have any questions for me?
Nope, but you're a loser.
It's not a question, but...
Yeah, it's in your truck.
Babe. Sir, can we get your name? You conducted business. Can we get your name?
My name?
Yeah, and the company?
After the initial stop on October 2nd, I was almost certain this police department had a deceitful and dishonorable history. So I decided to do some research myself. There's people out there who actually believe the police are here for a good thing.
Number.
Rimmer, 415. Open your window.
Rimmer 415?
Got it.
Okay, what is the reason for the stop?
Open your window.
You can see me. What's the reason for the stop? You can see me.
I cannot see you.
Yes, you can.
No, I cannot.
What's the reason for the stop?
I can't see anything.
You can see my hands.
What's going on, man? Everything good? Name and badge number? Name and badge number? All right. Badge number, though?
455.
Okay.
Go on the sidewalk.
Well, for what? What law am I?
In the middle of the street. You can record, but go on the sidewalk.
I'll go over here.
Don't interfere with this.
I'm not. I can't get in trouble for that. I'm recording. This is my right.
Yeah, you can, but you can't get involved.
I'm not involved in anything. What's the problem here?
The reason for the stop is several reasons.
What?
It's illegal.
My tints are illegal?
Yeah. You hear me? Your tints are illegal.
Yeah, I've been pulled over multiple times. My tints have never been illegal.
Congratulations. Your tints are illegal.
Okay.
Your car is not inspected.
Yes, it is.
You know what day it is?
Yes.
What's today?
There's one there, and then there's another one.
And what do they say?
It was approved on one part, the other one isn't.
What do they say?
What do you mean?
They're expired.
One isn't, the other one isn't. I already got pulled over for that.
Did you fall off?
Do you have your driver's license insurance?
I don't need to provide that.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you
I'm not driving commercially, so I don't need to provide that.
She's truly delusional if she actually thinks it's okay to drive without a license just because it's not for commercial purposes. Do these sovereign citizens really not understand that there are different types of licenses, like motorcycle, regular, and commercial? A regular license is for non-commercial driving, but depending on the job, you can also do commercial activities, like rideshare. To believe you don't need any license, plates, registration, or inspection sticker is just completely out of touch with reality.
Babe, go to the house. Go get the kids. Go to the house. Go to the house. I've had multiple cops behind me multiple times and nobody has pulled me over.
Can I have your driver's license?
I don't need to provide that. No, I don't.
I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are.
She's not driving commercially. She doesn't need it. What's your? This is my girl. What if she? What if she? But what's your RA? What's your RAS that she's driving commercially? What's your RAS? What's your RAS? Come on, bro. What you doing? This is on the record, sir. What's your name and badge number over here too? What's your name and badge number?
I don't know who you are.
All right, I'm her husband. I'm her husband.
Sir,
well,
I told you this already.
Okay.
You cannot get involved in this.
I'm not okay, but I have the right to speak. You're right.
Keep interfering, you're gonna be arrested.
I can't be though.
So sit there.
Cause you want to harass her, right? Oh, we got more tyrants over here. Oh yeah. Oh, this is cool. I like this. I like this. I like this. Name and badge number.
That's my boyfriend.
You do. You need a license.
We're allowed to record. He's not interfering with anything that you're doing during this stop, so I don't need to open my other window.
I don't know who you are, so stand over there. Okay. I need your driver's license insurance.
I don't need to provide any of that.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Why do you say that?
Because I don't need to. That's why. I don't need to. No, I don't. What is your reasonable, articulable suspicion that I committed a crime? Why are you pulling me over? What's the reason for the stop? Please. What's your reasonable, articulable suspicion that I committed a crime?
Do you have your license?
I don't need to provide that.
You have your ID.
I don't need to provide any of that.
We're gonna get a supervisor.
That's fine. That's fine. And you can't arrest me if you have no jurisdiction. So how can you arrest me? What? Doesn't matter where I am in the world. It doesn't matter where I am. I don't need to provide that. What is your reason? Okay. What is your reasonable, articulable suspicion that I committed a crime? And just so you know, I'm just going to grab my baby so you don't think I'm doing anything, okay?
Yeah, that's fine. I would really like it if you got out of the car.
I don't need to. What? Okay, so get your supervisor. That's fine. I'm waiting for someone to tell me what's the reason for the stop. I'm waiting for someone to tell me what's the reason for the stop.
I told you already, but you don't believe it. I don't believe what we're telling you. So
how is it illegal tint?
You have no registration on the vehicle.
I have. What do you mean I have no registration on the vehicle? I have whatever I have. I don't have to provide that to you.
I understand that. We're gonna have to supervise.
That's fine. Please do.
So we're wasting resources because somebody's traveling while there's real crime going on out there. Stand by. For a female in a car?
You need to learn your actual laws and not the laws that you're just taught, bro. Come on. Is there any movement with this? Is there any movement with this? Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
You, I mean, it sounds like you understand what's going on.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, and
Well, step out of the way. I don't want to fall.
Yeah.
So you'll obviously have the opportunity to plead not guilty to these tickets. And
But we can't get ticketed because we're not public. Do we have a state plate?
Okay.
Does she identify herself?
So I don't want to go through this. Obviously, like you have your version of, you know, like you have what you believe.
But what are you going under? You're going under state jurisdiction, right or wrong?
Correct.
Okay, so we're not operating under state jurisdiction. We're operating under common law, which is why we don't have. She's not identifying herself.
This isn't the place for you and I to get into a debate about this. Right
But there's no debate. You just don't know your rights. And as a sergeant, you should be putting all these officers in their place and letting them know, hey, if she didn't identify herself, how can you give her a ticket?
I understand your stance. I do. I understand your stance.
But you don't, because you're not taking the initiative to correct these officers. So you don't understand me. But I get what you're trying to say.
I don't want to engage. I mean, like, it's like, listen, man.
But it's not even personal, bro. It's just your officers have to learn eventually, because there's going to be more people with private plates that are learning their rights. You see, they're trying to take advantage because they think they know what they're doing. But as a sergeant, you should know about traveling and driving. She's not driving, she's traveling. And if she didn't identify herself, how are you issuing a ticket if you didn't even identify her?
Okay.
So but I'm curious, how are you going to do that? How is that happening?
Sir, I don't want to engage in this.
No, it's not.
There's 5 tickets for you, okay?
Okay.
The address correspondent is right here, 402 East Broad Street.
You think so? That's not me, just so you know.
That's magistrate. You have to plead guilty or not guilty within 10 business days. You plead guilty, you pay the fine.
Here, man.
Do you have any questions for me?
Nope, but you're a loser.
That's not a question, but...
You're a bitch. You're a bitch.
Name and badge number? Rimmer, Taylor. Badge numbers? 415. Badge number? 408. Name?
Fair.
Name and badge number?
Officer Clinton.
Okay, you do know this is unlawful, correct? You guys do know this is unlawful. Every single one of you that is here, this is not under state jurisdiction on the record. It's not. If you see a state plate with those numbers, that's state jurisdiction. You guys see what you're doing. You're still standing here knowingly, willingly, and intentionally. That's it. Knowingly, willingly, and intentionally. Your immunity is out the window. You're immune. Yo. Whoa. What's going on? But there's no law. That's not law. That's not law. That's not law. Babe. She wants to speak to the guy conducting business. She wants to speak to the guy conducting. Babe. What are you? Babe, stop.
I don't need to listen.
This is unlawful, bro. And hold on. Babe, bro. What? Do you see they're already violating their rights? This is not law. You cannot stand in front of somebody. You know this, right? You cannot. Okay, but they're already breaking the law. They're breaking the law. Let them do it. It's on camera. It's on camera. Clinton, you see what you're doing? You're traffic. So you're going to be held liable even more than these guys. Just let you know, this is on the record.
You know, you're either wrong or completely delusional when even a lawyer refuses to take your case.
I think this is and we already have UCC codes.
Are you guys saying you're sovereign citizens?
No, there was another lawyer that assumed the same thing. Now, we're far from sovereign citizens, but we do operate in our private capacity, and we have the right to travel under common law of the land, and I'm
terribly sorry. I've been a criminal defense lawyer for like 23 years. I've heard this before, and I'm not new. I'm sorry, I'm going to decline to represent you.
This is on the record. Yes, this is clear. Traffic. If you add ing on trafficking, that is commerce. Do you see any public place on that? Okay, listen. It's on camera. It's already on camera.
And I have my shit in
It's
there,
on
so I have
camera.
my shit out. Your business.
Wow. Wow. Viral. We're going viral tonight, guys.
None of your business. And you can see
Wow.
why you couldn't see me in the car.
You're doing some unlawful shit and you're gonna ask what the baby's name is?
You're weird.
I love it. Public service at its finest. Bethlehem Police Department, BPD.
Get my shit out of my car.
You good?
Okay. Babe. Sir, can we get your name? You conducted business. Can we get your name?
My name?
Yeah, and the company? The name in the company? Okay, but I'm asking you, you conducted business with the automobile. Okay, so what's your name? All right. Just go? Just go? Oh. Okay, Clinton. All right, Clinton. All righty, Clinton. All righty, Clinton. Yeah, sir.
Just go ahead and leave. Just go ahead and leave.
Oh, that's on the report as well. He's exactly.
Yes, you heard me.
No, this is our private property. This is private property. No, this is private property. They're unlawfully doing. Sir, you're talking. I'm talking to you, sir. They're unlawfully after this now, Clint. Have a good day. Wait, where are you walking?
You're taking my property that has my big shit in there.
Babe.
Stupid ass bitches. You need all these different cops to do this unlawful act.
In conclusion, these sovereign citizens believe they know the law, but once again they were shut down with their vehicle towed and impounded. They claim common law rights, but each state operates under statutory laws, and everyone must follow the laws of the state they live in. The 14th Amendment allows states to self-govern as long as they don't violate federal law. A state's laws can be equally or even more restrictive than federal law, but never more lenient. Essentially, they're picking and choosing what to believe based purely on ideology. If they want true independence, they can drive around private property all day. But once they hit public roads, they're subject to all applicable laws. Another sovereign citizen from Florida fails horribly at sovereign ideology. Here we go again. Another sovereign citizen from Florida, new to the ideology and already failing miserably. Watch as he attempts to navigate the law with his flawed understanding of sovereign citizen beliefs, only to crash and burn. If you're ready for a mix of frustration and entertainment, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Never got one on this most recent charge. Okay.
Let me see.
Mr. Morris, I know Mr. Hill was representing you in the 23174 case. You're here for an arraignment on the 24 CF49 case. Has your financial circumstances changed?
No, sir.
All right, I'm going to appoint the law officer here, Mark Sims, to represent you in the 24 case.
I go state this to the court.
You raise your right hand and
yes.
now that Mr. Hill is representing you, you probably want to talk to Mr. Hill before you say anything. We're recording this proceeding, so anything you say may be used against you. But I'm listening to whatever you want me to consider.
I'm not real sure what Mr. Morris is trying to claim in that writing right there. Said he's not a citizen and something about a secured.
My name is Alize Morris, a secured party creditor under the UCC-1 filed in Florida. American national being held in custody in Gulf County, which is not a 14th Amendment citizen of the United States. Not a record. So documentation, which is official records. To state it, I'm the agent of the said principal.
Who wrote that for you?
I did.
Why do you need to read it if you know what you're talking about?
This memory.
Okay. Tell me what the 14th Amendment says.
That you were considered a slave under the 14th Amendment.
That who's considered a slave? I'm not a slave.
No, the incarcerated person. this if you commit a crime.
Okay. Doesn't say if you commit a crime.
Or yeah.
That's not what it reads.
I got the 14th Amendment really wasn't in the book.
What book?
The book that we have in the back.
What book do you have in the back?
It's a law book.
What law book is it?
Florida statute book. Yes.
So the 14th Amendment is in the Florida statutes? That's because it's an amendment to the U.S. Constitution. So you don't know what the 14th Amendment reads?
The 14th Amendment reads not off on the top. Not off. That's why I've written.
What else do you want me to consider?
That I'm a secure part of credit under the UCC 1.
Tell me what the UCC 1 reads.
I wish I had my documentation in front of me to present it all the way. I wish I had someone here that was supposed to be here so I can have it.
I asked you who wrote that for you. You said you did.
I wrote it. Yes.
So do you know what you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
All right. So tell me what the UCC 1 reads.
It's the Uniform Commercial Code filed with the Secretary of State or within the entities under the contract with the Secretary of the State to maintain uniform commercial code records and database of judgment liens maintained by the Secretary of State.
Oh, tell me what UCC 1 reads.
It's a statement and it's a financial.
You don't know what the UCC 1 reads, do you?
Not on top.
You're not prepared. You're not prepared this morning with your sovereign citizen argument. You needed some additional time to prepare.
Yes, sir.
I'll give you some additional time to prepare your sovereign citizen argument. When do you want to come back?
I would ask that he's got 2 cases. I know one we've got already got the discovery on that I need to go meet with him at the jail and go over. Being at the jail, I can find time between now and May 9th to go to the jail and take care of that.
All right, Mr. Morrison, you come back. Usually when sovereign citizens come in the courtroom, at least they can recite from memory a lot of the stuff they travel under. So next time you want to come with your sovereign citizen argument, be prepared, okay? I'll listen to you, but be prepared.
Yes.
But you're not doing justice to your fellow traveling nationals who consider themselves sovereign citizens if you're not prepared to even articulate what the argument is, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll see you May 9th at 1:30.
Today.
Be prepared next time, all right?
Yes, sir.
It should have a constitution in the back so you can read the 14th Amendment and be able to tell me what it reads. And
what it says right here. What is state?
We're gonna May 9th at 1:30.
Machine into a contract.
That's not a contract. That's giving you notice that you're
Yes,
gonna
sir.
come back.
Just making sure.
You're fine. I'm not going to query you about what a contract is, but we'll talk about whatever you want me to consider next time.
This young man appears to be new to the sovereign citizen ideology, relying on a script in a poor attempt to defend himself, despite being assigned a lawyer. Even the lawyer seems confused by his sovereign citizen arguments, showing how detached these claims are from real legal principles. It's a clear example of how unprepared and misguided individuals can be when they embrace this movement, especially in a courtroom setting.
Why does the VIN number take over on the windshield?
Because the car is not under United States jurisdiction, so I don't have to show you the VIN number.
What was that first name?
NIA.
All right.
Last name MCLIN-EL.
Beware of sovereign citizen scams. Don't fall for these legal myths. Scammers posing as sovereign citizens are spreading misinformation, claiming people can avoid laws and taxes, but these myths don't hold up in court, and following them can lead to serious legal consequences, including jail time. In this video, we dive into the myths and lies, why they don't work, and how you can avoid falling victim to these scams. Don't let someone's bad advice ruin your life.
What's up, family? How y'all doing? Now look, lately I've been looking around, right? Because I've been going on YouTube and I've been looking at these videos, and the car industry is crazy. Like,
the banks is treating like the debtors like pawns. So I'm looking on YouTube, right? And it's something called a bank auto auction, a bank repossession auction. So all the cars that banks snatch from like the debtor, they auction it off to dealers. And what the dealers do is after they purchase the vehicles, the banks finance it, you know, for another debtor. And the cycle continues. It's like the banks nowadays, their whole entire agenda is this, right? Say, for instance, say if you had a car note, $40,000. And now you had the car for 4 years and you paid $11,000 towards the vehicle. Now, say if you couldn't pay, you know, within that 3-month span, they would take your car and say if you couldn't pay the money to reimburse or put the loan back to a current standard, they will put your car in the auction after 15 days of non-payment and sell it off. And I'd be looking at people like, damn, the banks is cold, because it's like, you know, people are very hard working and they pledge their everything for this vehicle, and the banks will take the vehicle back from you. And after they take the vehicle back from you, it's like you put $11,000 in for nothing. And that same dealer or bank, after they sell it at the auction, once they finance it again, that whole thing start over. So that $40,000 car, say if it's a $30,000 car now, right? They're going to use that pledger as well. And once that person can't pay, they go, it's like the cycles just keep repeating itself. And I feel bad for a lot of people, because a lot of people nowadays, they look at money, cars, assets as if this is real money. It's not real money, y'all. The US dollar is not real money. It's all credit. And y'all using y'all real livelihoods to put up as collateral, you know, to secure this loan. Y'all putting up y'all real social security numbers, not CPN numbers. Y'all not putting up EIN numbers. Y'all putting up y'all social security numbers. So this loan follow you everywhere you go. So that's why I try to teach people the method where I use an EIN number so I can operate in the private. I'm going on 4 months, no payment. But you want me to tell you what I did strategically? What I did strategically was I never gave them an address. And also, the vehicle that I have, since I purchased it all the way out, there's no track on this. No track on my vehicle. And also, it's something called a skip tracing. Skip tracing is when a debtor trying to locate you through public records. But since you no longer use that number, which would be the EIN number, I switched over, got a whole new EIN number, and it got another auto loan under that. And some people look at it like, that sound kind of crazy. It don't sound kind of crazy. You got to understand what world you live in. A lot of people will show and promote, oh, you don't have to pay your bills. And people just jump head first, but they not, you know, they not understanding the whole thing. Look, me not paying the car note saves a lot of money. Me not paying the mortgage saves a lot of money. So I can keep the money I was going to pay for the car note and keep it in my pocket. I don't have to worry about the banks no more. So that's why I'm trying to get people to understand that this shit is a game. And I want to play it. I want to play. I want to jump around in the balloons or jump around whatever. And I want to play the game that they are playing. Because this is a commercial game. It's a game. They look at y'all lives like games. Like when people get a mortgage and you default on a mortgage after 10 years, they take the whole house. You just you just paid 10 years for nothing. That's why I try to teach everybody, since we're dealing with a credit-based system, you want to find the legal loopholes, the legal ramifications where you can find a way to take the property and offset the debt, or you can have security on the debt. Like say, for instance, when I first got this car, right, this around 22, right, around 2022, what I did was I filed a title bond on the vehicle before before they issued the title, and put the bank as the lien holder. So I already filed a bond on this car way before a lien holder was even recorded, right? That's what I did, number one. The second thing I done was make sure that when I bank with the banking institution, that I never put my real address. So a lot of you guys who have physical addresses, a lot of you guys who have like your P.O. box, put that as your address, not the P.O. box. You have to get the address of the actual post office. And instead of putting P.O. box, you have to put unit and put the number of your P.O. box. And you have to say, this is where you live. So as long as that is taken care of, you will be all the way in the private. So when the dealer's trying to find you, they're like, damn, where does man go? But you got this on the one number. You got to understand it's the EIN that got this. Just like your social security number got it. Your social security number got it. But this the problem. They can take that social to court, right? When they take it to court, it's on public records. You can't put the EIN on public records. Even if you do, everywhere I apply for a loan, the auto loan for this one doesn't pops up because I put this under the EIN number. I never use the social security number at all. That's how you want to remain private at all times. And also, you don't want to be 100% liable for debt. So you always want to put this on a straw man number. And you can create another straw man number. So check this out. In the United States, it is legal for me to have as many numbers as I want. I can have as many EIN numbers as I want. I can have as many CPN numbers as I want. And also, I can have many bank accounts as I like. That's the name of the game, y'all. We got to learn how to play the credit game. Just play it's a game. Let's just play the game. Play the game for what it is, not what you want it to be. I have people call me, man, how can I discharge the car note? The bank's got your real address. The banks have your real social security number. And you sign a promissory note stating that you will pay it. So even if they want to make a claim in court, they can make the claim. So you can have the vehicle, but the vehicle right in your garage. And not only that, it's going to go on public records under that social security number. So wherever you go to apply for a house mortgage, it's always going to pop up. People got to think. You always got to think. You always got to think. You got to be ahead of the game. So me, this one EIN, I got a whole nother EIN number with a 700 credit score, and this old EIN number shot. And not for to take this off my credit and start all the way back over again. It's a game. That's why I want everybody to understand that credit is a damn game. And I would never take credit serious because the bank's giving you extension of credit, which is a game. You retrieving credit, which is a game. Everything is a game, y'all. Now, I'm not telling you to do anything illegal in the sense of stealing something.
This sovereign citizen is trying to give you a one-way ticket to jail by defrauding banks. Sure, you can have an EIN, but that's meant for legitimate business purposes. Using it solely to get loans without intending to pay them back, that's the definition of fraud. He's giving out bad advice, like providing incorrect addresses and hiding behind an EIN to avoid identification. He even claims you can do this with home loans, but banks will always know where the property is, no matter what secondary address you list. Plus, you're still going to need a substantial down payment to secure a mortgage. If you follow this guy's advice, don't be surprised if you end up sharing a jail cell with him. It's beyond reckless to advertise this nonsense.
You can extend, the banks will extend credit to you based upon what's on your credit profile. So you have a lengthy credit profile, they will extend credit. Are you obligated to pay that credit? No. Is it a violation of law if you don't pay debt? No. Because not paying debt is not an arrestable offense. So I can go on right here on YouTube and say, I do not pay my debt. And nothing can happen to me because it's not illegal to not pay debt. But you want me to tell you the problem is? It's crazy when you find a loophole, when you find legal loopholes to get out of debt, or you find legal loopholes to not pay debt, or you find legal loopholes to get away from debt. Because now you start fanning out like, I could do this, I could do that. It's kind of like you sneaky, but at the same time you legit, because you actually building a real credit profile, but at the same time, you placing all of your personal liabilities, like the social security number, you putting that to the side. You putting your personal life to the side, and you setting up straw man numbers. So that's what I thought of. So the EIN is a straw man number. The CPN number is a straw man number. So I get over on the banks just like that. So look at it like this. You got people out there, right, who commit crimes, right? They crack cards for $5,000. And that's a crime because you committing bank fraud. Or you got some people that might do a wire transfer, like hack people's account and send the money somewhere else. That's crime. That's a crime. But you got a guy like me that set up an EIN number, get a bank account, get almost a $70,000 auto loan from the bank, and I take the entire vehicle. And guess what? 0% liability. And it's not illegal.
Defrauding a bank using an EIN, employer identification number, without any intention of repaying the loan constitutes fraud, which is illegal under both federal and state laws. Here's a breakdown of how this is defined legally. 1. Fraudulent intent, fraud in legal terms, generally refers to the intentional deception or misrepresentation for personal gain, typically to obtain money or property. at both federal and state levels. The act of fraud is prosecuted when 3. Fraudulent use of an EIN. An EIN is issued by the IRS strictly for legitimate business activities. Using an EIN to misrepresent one's financial or personal identity with the intention to deceive lenders is also considered identity fraud, which is covered under several statutes like 18 U.S. Code Paragraph 1028, identity fraud. It's illegal to use false information or an EIN to obscure true identity or financial history in a way that leads to financial gain under fraudulent pretenses. 4. False information, state laws. In addition to federal laws, states have their own statutes against fraud. For example, using a false address or fabricated personal details to secure loans can violate state criminal statutes on fraud and misrepresentation. Most states view fraudulent intent in banking matters as a serious offense with penalties including fines, restitution, and jail time. 5. Consequences of non-repayment. With fraudulent intent, not only does defaulting on the loan result in civil repercussions, like credit damage and collections, but if a bank determines that a person never intended to repay, they may pursue criminal charges for fraud. Both local and federal authorities are alerted in cases where fraud is suspected, and enforcement actions are pursued accordingly. Attempting to defraud a bank with an EIN and false information can lead to significant legal consequences on multiple levels. When a person knowingly lies, misleads, or hides information with the intent to deceive and secure benefits unlawfully. 2. Bank fraud. Federal law. The federal statute. 18 U.S. Code, Paragraph 1344, directly addresses bank fraud, which is defined as attempting to knowingly execute or attempt to execute a scheme or artifice to defraud a financial institution. If someone takes out a loan using an EIN and has no intention of repaying, they're essentially committing bank fraud under federal law, as the action involves misleading the bank to secure money or assets. Violators face up to 30 years in prison and fines up to $1,000.
It's not illegal at all. So once we start understanding credit is a game, we're going to have fun with it. You know, I'm going to show everybody how the game works. And I also got some new stuff to tell y'all, right? I found another credit union who actually just giving out $25,000 auto loans. Just $25,000 auto loan. And I'm actually trying to get me an investment truck because they send the wire. They send the right wire directly to the dealership, whoever you're trying to buy the car from. So, yeah, we're going to be on that next, y'all. Yeah, man, credit is a game. You know, for you guys who paying car notes, I'm sorry, man. You know, that a lot of people ain't caught on to this soon. A lot of you guys pay $30,000, $40,000, and this is y'all hard-earned money. This is hard-earned money that y'all are paying. And you got a guy like me out here driving a 2022, and they can't even fab me, and I got this under the straw man number. And it's not illegal. It's not.
In conclusion, don't be fooled by this sovereign citizen's advice. It's illegal on both federal and state levels. What he's promoting is bank fraud by misusing an EIN to hide his identity and dodge loan payments. If you follow his lead, sooner or later the authorities will piece it all together and he'll be facing serious jail time, along with anyone else who buys into his reckless criminal advice.
All right, Mr. Lockhart has a note here on one of these tickets. Did you send a note to the court, Mr. Lockhart?
Yes, I did.
No. Do not accept your offer to contract and do not agree to these proceedings. All right, so what do you want to do?
I'm here under threat, duress, and coercion. I'd like to say for the record, my name is Jamil of the family Lockhart.
Let's get the record established. This is the city of Detroit versus Jamel Amir Lockhart. Appearance for the record, please, counselor.
Rita White, House Counsel, on behalf of Mr. Jamil Lockhart.
All right, Mr. Lockhart.
No one is representing me on my behalf. I don't know that.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Lockhart.
Yeah, so I am Jamil of the family Lockhart, flesh and blood, living man, and attorney in fact for Jamil Lockhart and Legis Trust. I'm here by threat, duress, and coercion. I'm here making a special appearance. And I'm here to demand that the court prove jurisdiction over me as a live flesh and blood man. As I said, I submitted a challenge to jurisdiction. Jurisdiction must be proven and proven on the record. And then also I submitted Freedom of Information Act request for your foreign registration statement and anti-bribery statement, as well as that of prosecutor. There is no contract. Every presentment that was made to me was formally rejected and sent back to the court, which is what you have a copy of, by my notary. I do have a live witness notary who can come in and testify to that fact. Given that there is no commercial contract, no commercial agreement, I fail to see how the court has jurisdiction. Furthermore, there's been no injured party, and no, there's been failure to state a claim through a verified affidavit. So if someone can prove to me how this statutory commercial court has some kind of jurisdiction over me as a live flesh and blood human being, I think we could start there.
Well, let's start here. You have a notice is not what you think notice should be. Notice is what is if it's properly effectuated in the court rule. And I'll certainly give you whatever hearing that you want if you file the proper motions and material to contest that. I'll give you an opportunity to be heard on that. But furthermore, what I'm looking at is I have a proof of service.
There is no proof of service that was rejected and sent back to the court. You have a copy of that.
You're not even listening. You're not even gonna listen. I listen to what you said. Are you gonna listen to me?
I am listening to you. I'm just responding to you.
All right. So why don't you listen before you start making statements?
Oh, you had paused. I thought you were finished.
What it isn't.
Well, go ahead.
Are you giving me permission to go ahead now too, right?
I assumed you were done speaking.
All right. Listen, I have an envelope with certified mail. I don't know what I believe the contents have been stapled to the envelope. It's got a proof of service effectuated by Nyla Perrin. I have a signed complaint here, signed by Officer Randy Randolph on 11/19/2019.
Is he here today?
Well, we can get him in here. Today is only date and time is set for arraignment. So you're just being arraigned, and what the arraignment purposes of the arraignment, and let's go through the whole thing, is you're here for a expired plate ticket. That is a civil infraction that carries a $145 fine. There's an allegation that you did not have a drove while license not valid or improper. That is a misdemeanor offense, punishable by 93 days at the maximum by 93 days in jail and or $500 in fine. On the same day and time, it was an allegation that you did not provide proper insurance. That is a misdemeanor, as it's written here, and that is punishable by the maximum possible penalty of 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines. There's also a warrant for your arrest for an allegation of an improper, not valid driver's license. So today is the date and time set for arraignment. You have the option of pleading guilty, not guilty, or standing mute. You stand mute, I'll enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. What would you like to do, sir?
I am here under threat, duress, and coercion to demand
You're
that
not
this
here under threat, duress, or
prove some kind of jurisdiction. And until jurisdiction has been proven, we can go no further. I would also like to ask you, is this proceeding taking place under common law?
This proceeding is taking place in accordance to the court rules and the statutory laws of the state of Michigan.
So I am not a creature of statute. I am not under statutory law. I would demand that this proceeding take place under common law, as I am a live flesh and blood human being, under no authority but that of God.
All right, I'm not gonna go back and forth. I'm gonna give you another court date. I don't have any,
All I need you to do is prove jurisdiction.
You don't tell me what you need me to do, sir. Don't do that. Just let me finish.
With all due respect, the court must prove jurisdiction.
I understand that. We can get this over with quicker rather than later if you let me do my job. What I was trying to say, you're making your claim and stating your case that the court doesn't have jurisdiction over you. In order for me to properly review that and go, it's got to be done according to the court rules. I need a motion, and I will read it. I will read that motion.
I have submitted a motion to dismiss for lack of subject matter jurisdiction.
I don't have it. I don't have it in front of me.
Sovereign citizens are hilarious. They actually believe they can have things their way.
And then I'll give you a motion.
I have a timestamped copy of it if you'd like me to show you.
All right, you got to submit it to the court. Look at the.
It was filed by the clerk just 2 days ago.
Okay,
I have a
well, it
timestamped copy of it.
It hasn't got to the file. I'm going to give you another pretrial date.
I would like to say I do not consent. The court has to prove jurisdiction. I filed that document a few days ago. Anything short of that is an admission that there is no jurisdiction and we have no further business. We have no contract.
Have a great day, sir.
Jamil of the Family Law Card here.
Okay, you're still. Did you have a question, sir?
None other than just stating that I do not consent to these proceedings and I do not accept any contract.
You already put that on the record.
Okay, good.
You came back in.
I would also like to ask why this Mrs. Rita White had claimed to represent me.
All right, let's go back on the record with Mr. Jamil Lockhart. How old are you, sir?
I am 27.
You're 27 years old, and you go ahead and you ask why Miss White is here to represent you. Well, first and foremost,
why did she claim to represent me and I have no knowledge?
I'll explain to you. First and foremost, she's the House counsel for this evening. So for this afternoon, she represents anybody who wants her representation as far as helping them to navigate and to defend themselves.
I have never expressed that want to her.
This is what you're doing. This is what I want you to do. Any questions?
Why do you talk over people?
Well, I assume we were having a conversation. I'm sorry. I'll be quiet.
I am trying to have a conversation, but one's got to talk and one's got to listen.
Okay, go ahead.
You asked why Miss White said she represented you. Miss White said she represented you because she didn't know beforehand the position that you were going to take. So she's just merely
quite
doing
an assumption.
her job.
That is quite an assumption. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, by the name that you put up on there, Jamil of the Family Lockhart,
That is
I wasn't surprised I wasn't surprised the avenue that you were going to take on that. Just
I'm
by the
glad you
name.
recognize
But I
where
can't-
I'm
but she's not going to assume. I don't believe she's going to assume that she's going to treat you any differently than anyone else. And then you said that you didn't want her representation, and she.
Wouldn't you agree that for future reference, it might be better to ascertain that kind of information before she makes that kind of statement for everybody?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
So the assumption is that everyone wants her to speak on their behalf.
Yes, until.
Is that not a
until they
rash
say-
assumption?
Until they say differently, like you did.
Okay. Well, again, this whole time, there's a motion before the court to dismiss for lack of subject matter jurisdiction.
There's not a motion.
There has
before the
been
court.
what has been filed. I have a timestamp copy of it. I can show you that if you need to see it. But
Okay,
your
well,
clerk
let me explain.
timestamp filed that document.
Let me explain to you. And this is just for your information. You say that you filed it with the court and the clerk down at the window, and I wouldn't disagree with that. But typically you want to, when you do your filings, that's why you want to have a judge's copy, and you want to specifically have that copy hand delivered to the judge's chambers. So we don't rely on the court clerks downstairs at the windows to make sure that these files get put into the proper place. You're not going to make.
Who do you
that
rely
assumption.
on for that?
You're making, and then because you don't want to make that assumption that that file is going to get into the correct file. You don't want to make that assumption. Would you agree?
Who do you rely on to make sure that filed documents get to the right place, get into
The person that's filing it, yourself.
So it is not, you're telling me it's not the duty of the clerk to ensure that documents are filed in the case where the judge can view those documents. On my capacity, that document was sent to the court. It was sent to the court by a notary. So I do have a live witness to attest to that fact. It has also been timestamped. That was recorded as well. I have checked all my boxes when it comes to notifying the court. I've also given you a demand for your Freedom of Information Act request for your foreign registration statement and your anti-bribery statement. The idea or the fact that you do not have that is an issue, and it would mean that you are committing a crime against me and holding this statutory proceeding and trying to confuse me as a live flesh and blood man, that I am a corporation beholden to the corporation which you represent. And that is my main point here today, is to tell you that I am not under your jurisdiction. I am a live flesh and blood man. You've already stated that this is not a common law proceeding. I am under no law but common law. We have no commercial contract which would enter us into any kind of statutory law.
Okay.
So I failed to see the issue. And there's also no verified complaint with a signed affidavit.
Sir, let me stop you. And I'll let you put that on the record. I'll let you put it on the record already. We've already done those things. So I'm going to end it.
What you're committing here is a fraud.
Okay.
That's what you're participating in.
Okay. Whatever your position
And
is.
without your foreign registration statement, that's an admission that you are here as a criminal actor.
Okay, sir, I'm gonna end the hearing now.
And I do not consent to any further hearings on this issue or this matter. We have no valid contract. We failed to prove jurisdiction. There is no valid claim.
All right,
I do not consent.
that, sir. I've already let you make a record, and I don't want you to mention any more because I'm gonna hold you in contempt of court. Okay, so I'll let you make your record. I set a date.
Do whatever you feel like you need to do. I'm here to tell you that I'm not under your jurisdiction.
All right. It seems that you really need an education on how this stuff works, and I'm going to give you one today.
Sovereign citizen tries to dodge repo by claiming judge is his trustee. Legal fail. In this bizarre courtroom moment, a sovereign citizen attempts to avoid a vehicle repossession by claiming the judge is his trustee. Watch how the judge responds to this confusing argument and how sovereign citizen tactics fail once again. This video shows the challenges courts face when dealing with these unconventional legal claims. Don't miss this entertaining and educational courtroom showdown.
Ms. Walsh, are you going to be arguing this?
That's correct. Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. I think I see a Jeffrey Lawrence.
Jeffrey-Lawrence, Cowgill, beneficiary.
This case involves a defaulted vehicle loan for a recreational travel trailer. Defendants executed and entered into a retail installment contract with the dealer. The last payment made on the loan account was on or about December 28th of 2021. The balance owing to plaintiff is the principal sum of $35,928.21 plus late fees in the amount of $53.88 plus accrued interest in the amount of $1,325.37. While they have submitted many pages of inadmissible hearsay, including excerpts from several books and alleged excerpts of statutes and constitutional provisions and postal tracking information and other materials, documents that appear to have been drafted by defendants themselves that have names like conditional acceptance or a bill of exchange or a declaration of the Naturalization Act of July 1779 for Jeffrey L. Cowgill status correction to the land and soil jurisdiction, not Sea Admiralty. They elaborate on the allegations that the credit union rejected payment that
basically the sovereign citizen is attempting to justify why they don't owe the credit union any money, relying on more of their typical sovereign citizen rhetoric and misguided legal theories.
Note, but those forms of alleged payment are not legal tender, and the credit union was not obligated to accept them as forms of payment. Defendants also argue that they sent a bond coupon in the form of a promissory note to the credit union as an attempted tender of payment under the contract. However, defendants have not submitted any admissible evidence to support that proposition, and even if they had, that is not a valid form of payment. So the plaintiff asks that the court enter the revised proposed order granting summary judgment to plaintiff.
Mr. Cowgill, I did, just so you're aware, I did read through your response and attachments. So if you have, I'd like to hear what argument you have in response to counsel.
Without prejudice, I, Jeffrey-Lawrence, Cowgill, with Teresa-Ann Cowgill, the beneficiaries making special appearance sui juris propria persona under fraud, menace, and duress before fiduciary Basher. This is a Sesticate Trust action, which you are now a real party in interest to. I'm the living, breathing man on the land and soil. That entity, all caps, Jeffrey-Lawrence Cowgill, was expatriated, and I, the living man, have an unrebutted UCC-1 lien and security agreement with the all caps entity, and Gary Basher serves as the entity trustee in a fiduciary capacity. Virginia law further provides to authorize such filing, the debtor must do so in an authenticated record by authenticating or becoming bound as a debtor by a security agreement, or 3, by acquiring collateral. I have supplied that to you, that there's a UCC-1 claim. The plaintiff's agents are outlandish, stating Federal Reserve published documents are hearsay. Statutes and constitutions are admissible under 56B, as it states. The defendant may move with or without supporting affidavits for a summary judgment in such party's favor as to all or any part thereof. Since the plaintiffs have violated RCWs, UCCs, and U.S. codes, among other laws, these laws are fact and admissible per CR 56B. The plaintiff says the conditional acceptance is a nonsensical document, yet it is in Black's Law Dictionary under conditional acceptance. The definition is an engagement to pay the draft or accept the offer on the happening of a condition. A conditional acceptance is in effect a statement that the offeree is willing to enter into a bargain differing from some respects from the proposed or the original offer. The conditional acceptance is therefore in and of itself a counteroffer. We conditionally accepted the offer of the plaintiff, but the plaintiff ignored us, knowing that the conditional acceptance stated acquiescence would void the original contract. The postal tracking combined with the Esquire Scroggins letter is fact and evidence to the plaintiff receiving the bills of exchange that they did not return. The plaintiff's agent, Esquire Bertolino, admitted they received them as well. What qualifications does any of the plaintiff's agents have to declare what is and is not a bill of exchange? Since the plaintiff's agents, the Esquires, lied about the redacting and have submitted evident affidavits that they are not qualified to submit, how can their words be trusted? They are not bankers, nor is Mr. Howard. What is his qualifications to make such declarations? He looks at a piece of paper, the plaintiff's agents hand him, and he takes it as gold. I have people at work that know federal and state policies and procedures, but they're clueless as to what those policies and procedures are for. How can Mr. Howard be trusted acting as an entity's agent? No offense, lawyers lie all the time. Fact, Agent Howard produced a terrible photocopy that has a signature on it for the dealership that is not on our copy. Who signed the contract? Can the plaintiff's agents prove that an authorized representative for the dealership that is delegated by the plaintiff signed that contract? The plaintiff wants to rely solely on the contract, so let's talk about the contract. Who signed it for the dealership? Why hasn't the plaintiff gotten an affidavit from the dealership? Because they don't know who signed it. Washington rule does state that the photocopy can be used in the original's place unless there's genuine question of the original. And that alone poses a major question. Where is the original? Is a signature on the original more legible? Is there any other evidential factors on the original that can give us the answers to that truth? On the UCC, we did tender for payment bills of exchange, who the plaintiff's agents are not qualified to decide with their opinion what is and is not a bill of exchange. And as for where the bills of exchange are, ask the plaintiff. What did they do with them? They did not send them back. What did they do with them if not monetize them for gain? Esquire Bertolino states that the instructions on the 1099-A state tangible property is not included, yet the exact wording is no reporting is required, meaning you don't have to, but you can. It does not say no tangible property, so Esquire Bertolino lied. The plaintiff has violated many UCCs, U.S. codes, not just 12 U.S.C. 5511B2, C codes and definitions on everything that the plaintiff has violated, and I have proven the facts. Why didn't the plaintiff return the documents they say are not bills of exchange with an explanation or dishonor? Why wait and have Esquire type up some bunk letter and still not return those bills of exchange? When you're doing something and you find out that there's fraud or some shenanigans going on, you stop. That would explain why we made payments until we found out that there was fraud. Payments in fiat currency were being made until we discovered the truth and the plaintiff's agents violated laws and codes. All they had to do is return the bills of exchange with dishonor and or validate the debt or answer the conditional acceptance. Instead, they ignored us. That's why we're here. The Federal Reserve publications, like Hearing the Truth from the Horse's Mouth, state exactly how banks operate. How is that not fact? The Federal Reserve dictates what the banks can and cannot do. I'd say their publications are not only admissible, but damning to the plaintiff's complaint. As the plaintiff, they have to prove their complaint, and not only are there holes in their contract theory because of the signature, but it begs the question, why are they dismissing the UCC, which all banks and courts are bound to? And why didn't they rebut the UCC one? And as for the Leach Act, I submitted the copy to the court from the plaintiffs behind a sealed financial record. There's no explanation for these agents or their office to be passing around sensitive information that the agents do not need. So they did violate the act. What is their confidential material protocol? Who has seen the documents and where is it stored? How was it sent to the plaintiff's agents? By mail, fax, email? So how can you tell me it was secured when they didn't take the precaution when they sent it to me in regular mail, not certified? The plaintiff never asked if they could share our personal information of that magnitude. This alone sets forth facts to either dismiss or send this complaint to trial, so the plaintiff's agents can be questioned. Put the qualified bankers on stand so we can find the truth. The plaintiff's esquires are not qualified to speak on the plaintiff's behalf, and Mr. Howard is not a banker, so neither is he. And if you use it without prejudice, like I have, a 1099-A can be anything I want. I can write a bill of exchange on a blank piece of paper. It's what they do with it. They didn't send it back with dishonor. They didn't send it back at all. All they said is, well, now we're going to limit how you can and cannot pay. And so they violated the UCC. And with that, I'm done.
Response?
Thank you, Your Honor. The retail installment contract expressly provides that that the borrower must, or the borrower agrees to pay the amount financed and the finance charge in U.S. funds according to the payment schedule below, as explained on section 1 on the back. That's at Exhibit 1, page 2. It's undisputed that the defendants did not do so, that they defaulted under the terms of the contract. They don't dispute that they received the trailer. They don't dispute that they received this loan. They don't dispute that they made payments under this contract. They knew how to make payments under this contract. And they don't deny that they stopped making those monthly payments. There is no genuine issue of material fact that they entered into the contract, that they defaulted under the terms of the loan, and that they owe the amounts set forth in the Howard Declaration. It's, not appropriate for defendants to malign attorneys generally, or my colleague, Ms. Bertolino, in this court, with no evidence, no admissible evidence that would support any of the allegations that defendants have stated here today. There is no demonstration, no allegations, no demonstration of fraud by the credit union or by anyone. There is no, defendants just simply have not created a genuine issue of material fact regarding the credit union's claim for breach of contract or its entitlement to replevin in this case. And that is, those are the plain facts.
So I got one question I have, which is not necessarily germane to my decision. Does your client still have the bills of exchange that were submitted?
That I don't have an answer for you today.
Your Honor, I've asked for them back and they just blatantly ignore me.
All right. Well, when I look through this, I mean, there's a lot of interesting theories that are kind of flowing all through this. What it boils down to, from what I gather, and there seems to be undisputed, is you folks went in, you bought a trailer on time, agreeing to make payments of some amount, pay it off. At some point in time, there was an issue arose where you decided to do something different, and then no more payments were made. There were some submissions of bills of exchange as an attempt to make a payment, as well as a 1099 as an attempt to make a payment. I guess my answer to that is those probably would not be something you could walk into Safeway and buy a banana with, because it wouldn't be considered regular money for purposes of buying things in a retail situation. They may work in a UCC type thing or something. That this is simply a consumer contract to buy a trailer and make payments on it. And when you're all done, you get the title. The credit union, it appears without any objection, has a security interest, which is indicated in the title as the legal owner. And I've not heard, I mean, there may be some other claims, but that you may have against them. I'm not making an assessment of that, because even if you did, it would not upset the contract to buy the trailer. So, I mean, you buy the trailer, you got to make the payments, you make the payments, they get the trailer back. So I am going to grant the motion for summary judgment. In doing so, I want to just give you some guidance, sir. What will ultimately happen is they get the trailer back and then they sell the trailer to somebody else. And they apply the funds they get from that against the bill that's still owing. So the more money they get out of that trailer, the less money you end up having a judgment for. Does that make sense? So it's in your best interest not to do anything to the trailer. It's probably in your best interest to hook it up and drive it down to the credit union because that would save some costs.
Oh yeah, I don't have a truck to do that, so they can come get it.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to point out it's.
And so my copy of the contract not having a signature from the dealership doesn't matter.
It really doesn't.
And you being the trustee in this case doesn't matter.
Well, I'm not a trustee, sir. I'm a judge.
You are, because I appointed you one as the beneficiary, because I'm not to do that.
Okay, I'm not able to accept that as a Superior Court judge.
So what about them just putting out our social security numbers without our say so? Like they could have completely ruined our credit. Someone could have those numbers and be doing damage to us right now.
Well, if those were passed to the attorneys as part of the collection, then that would be something that would be allowed. If that was sent out beyond that, obviously that's a separate issue. And if in fact that were a claim that were proven, there may be something there. But again, that doesn't affect the contract. Those are all other claims that you may have. And I'm not saying you do or you don't, because I don't know enough about those, even based on all the information that you filed. And I read through all the stuff you filed because it's what I do when I do my job. So,
So can we have those forms of payment back? Can you order them to return those to us?
Well, I think it's appropriate. If there's some value in those should be returned to
There's a lot of value in them if they still have them. And if they don't have them, then
what happens if they don't return them?
The sovereign citizen stopped making payments on the trailer and attempted to use sovereign citizen arguments and a misinterpretation of the UCC to justify keeping it. However, the judge ultimately ruled in favor of the credit union, ordering the return of the trailer. As expected, the sovereign citizen didn't get his way and claimed he didn't have a truck to return the trailer, asking the credit union to come pick it up instead.
They say they're above the law. The court says otherwise.
Hello. Good morning. How are you today? Good. How are you doing? I'm excellent as always. What was that? I am excellent as always. I'm Corporal Golfshock and Sheriff's Office. The reason I stopped you is the trailer doesn't have a tag and it doesn't appear the lights are working on it. It's not working, the light? No. Yeah. Right. Do you have your driver's license with you? I don't have a driver's license. No? Do you have a supervisor? I am a supervisor. Fantastic. Okay. I accept your oath and bond and bind you to it. Well, I appreciate that. Okay, do you have a name or anything to identify yourself? I'm not. No? Okay. So, I'm assuming you're a sovereign citizen? Not really the citizen. Not the citizen, okay. Okay. So you don't have any registration paperwork, anything like that? No? Okay. No, I believe that. You seem pretty cool with me, so I'm going to be cool with you, okay? I'm just going to run your VIN, okay? Okay, you don't have anything to identify yourself as? You have a... What? Private. Okay. What's your first name? Private. Private? Okay. What's the name you were born with, that you were given at birth? My name is Private. What's your last name? My name is Private. Your name's Private? Okay. Accept your oath and bond and bind. Okay. Well, appreciate that, but instead of Florida, you're driving on our roadways. You gotta identify yourself. You're traveling behind the wheel of the vehicle. You gotta identify yourself. I'm a state registered motor vehicle. So it's an unregistered motor vehicle. In your system, it will be listed that way for how private. So you do that. 10-4. He's going to be sovereign and not identifying himself. Do you have anything on that vehicle as far as an owner? You want to make this easy on yourself before you end up in jail? I accept your oath and bond and binding to. Okay. Well, I appreciate you being cooperative. Well, no, I won't say cooperative, but you're calm. I appreciate that. I know.
It's a peaceful travel.
Okay.
Do I have a right to travel freely?
You have to have a driver's license in the state of Florida.
I'm not in the state of Florida.
Okay, well you are.
In the state of Florida, what is the state of Florida?
Okay, I'm not about to go into all that. Okay, so by Florida state statute, you have to have a driver's license. Correct?
To be a driver for the state of
and you have to have a registered motor vehicle, which this is not registered. You don't have a driver's license.
In order for the state statutes to apply, the word must. That's what that means.
Okay, I'm not going to argue. I'm not. I don't want to argue. It's not my first day either, but it's something that we can argue in court then.
I am not going to court, and I'm just saying that you take me to a magistrate if you wish, and I'll explain the situation with the magistrate.
Okay. Well, do you want to go ahead and do that then?
Show me where to go.
Okay.
I'll travel people in the van.
No, we're not going to go in the van. You know that's not going to happen.
No, that's not
this isn't your first rodeo. It's not my first rodeo. Okay.
Okay.
So, do you have anything? Where's your sovereign paperwork at? Because I know you usually carry paperwork with you.
It's packed in the back.
Packed in the back? Do you want to grab it?
No, because I don't want to get out. Because I don't trust you, and I'm not sure if you're a supervisor.
Okay, I have 2 stripes. That makes me a corporal, okay?
Sovereign citizen challenges DUI charge in court, claims sui juris defense.
Mr. Valentine it is? We need to get you unmuted.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so there are a couple of attorneys sitting behind you from Thurston County Public Defense. Did you want the court to appoint counsel or not?
No.
Were you going to hire your own attorney on the matter or represent yourself?
I've made it clear throughout all these proceedings that I'm proceeding sui juris.
Okay, I just need to always make sure of that. All right, so you filed some documents with the court and we've got confirmation set for the 8th. What is it today that you want to do?
I wanted to argue in some motions that I submitted to the court. A motion to dismiss, a judicial notices that I've dismissed about misconduct of the court and denied of access to the court. And I believe a motion to strike as well.
Motion to strike what?
It was a motion to strike. You guys had served a motion, no testimony to my house. I'm not sure what that was. The motion was never served to me. And the docket was never served to me either. It was mailed to my home. I'm not sure why, because the state was aware that I was in custody, but that's what my motion to strike was pertaining to.
Okay. Well, this is your motion today, and motion no testimony just means we didn't expect to see witnesses being called to the stand. So let me hear from the prosecutor here.
It's
Mr.
the state's
Weston.
understanding that the motion to request discovery and the motion to dismiss was heard on October 28th in front of, I believe, Judge Buckley, and he dismissed those motions. And the state's understanding is that the only motion that was going to be argued today was whether the court should grant funds for Mr. Valentine to hire an investigator.
That's not part of the motions I have here that were filed.
There was a motion filed. I can look it up real quick, Your Honor.
Since the last hearing is what I was looking at. So there was.
Yeah, I objected to his denial of those motions as well, because I already submitted an affidavit of prejudice and he disqualified himself. So he shouldn't have been making any judgments on the case after that point. He also said himself that today was going to be a special motion docket where my motions were going to be heard today.
So what I reviewed is what was filed after the 18th. and that was October 21st. I have a request to release you and your request, I'll go back, or let me get back to your court to dismiss these charges, motion to release you, and that's what I reviewed. So is there something else pending that I was not aware of after the 18th?
On 18th, on this October 18th, there's one that says in Laserfish motion to request discovery, parentheses 020, parentheses. In that one, that's based on the state's notes. It shows that that was the only motion that was going to be argued today.
All right, Mr. Valentine, it looks like I need to go back and kind of review real quick those issues. I thought they were all heard on the 18th. And either you can just sit right there while I read everything here, or which probably is the best thing to do. So let me just review all that you've filed here again. Then I'll turn right back to you. So just hang in there. So just before I get to everything, Mr. Valentine, I'm looking at your motion request. I guess you titled it to request all of the discovery in this case, but you say that it seems to me, maybe I'm misreading, one, that Michael Valentine had an attorney in the early stages of the hearings. Is that just a fact, or are you asking the court to appoint counsel?
I'm stating a fact that at the beginning of these proceedings, I was working with an attorney.
And then they never gave you the discovery. Okay. All right.
Yes.
All right. All right. Get it.
That's the state's understanding as well, Your Honor. Okay. And our office did provide discovery.
Well, just slow down. Let me read everything and then I'm going to turn to everyone. Just needed some clarification there. All right. I've had some time here to re-review and review what's been filed in the court file from the 18th of October on forward. As to your motions from the 18th on forward and the docket and your pleading. So as to discovery, let me direct first to Mr. Weston on behalf of the state. Has all discovery been provided to Mr. Valentine?
Correct, Your Honor. So on October 18th of 2024, Judge Buckley ordered that the state provide Mr. Valentine discovery. 5 days later, DPA Thompson himself drove to the jail and delivered all discovery material to Mr. Valentine, which included the citation, police reports, an offer sheet from our office, thumb drives of dash cams, and then the request forms for those dash cams as well.
Okay, so a thumb drive that he could view those, a request form for the dash cams. What does that mean?
That when there's a dash cam involved, such as here, our office generally has to send out a request for that dash cam, and that form is just a request asking Washington State Patrol to disclose their dash cams to us.
Okay, but you provided a thumb drive that had those dash cams.
Correct, Your Honor. Thumb drive of the dash cams.
And all this information is what the state intends to use in trial against Mr. Valentine.
Correct, Your Honor. Based on the subpoenas that I looked at recently that were sent out for trial, the trooper that's testifying is one of the troopers that is testifying. His dash cam would be on this drive. The police report of that trooper would have been provided in this discovery packet as well. All the information that we would be using at trial was in this discovery packet that was provided to Mr. Valentine on December 23rd.
Was it provided before this at any point?
The state is unaware on whether it was or not. The states had the belief that defense counsel, who was previously representing Mr. Valentine up to a certain point, would disclose such materials to him when the court found that when the court allowed Mr. Valentine to proceed pro se. But this state doesn't know why it wasn't provided to him from the prior defense counsel. But upon realizing that Mr. Valentine did not have the discovery packet, the state did provide such material at that time.
And on the witnesses that you're expecting to call to testify, the substance of their information is included in that discovery?
I would believe so, Your Honor. Based on the, give me 1 second here. And so based on the subpoena that was sent out, one of the witnesses are Trooper Benjamin Crabtree, one of a dragger technician, and because there was one of the charges is driving while license suspended, there is a DOL representative that it will be a witness in the trial as well. But everything that Mr. Valentine would need to cross-examine Trooper Crabtree would be provided either on that dash cam or in the police report. Additionally, Mr. Valentine would have ample opportunity to develop his cross-examination of the dragger technician or the DOL rep at trial.
It looks like a witness list was provided while Mr. Gasling was Mr. Valentine's attorney back in the beginning of the year, at least March, I believe it was. And that included Trooper Crabtree, Zach Riveri or Assany, and Skylar Rue or designee from the State Department of Licensing. All right. You've reiterated that witness list, it looks like.
Correct, Your Honor.
All right. What's that? All right. So, and then, all right. So then, Mr. Valentine, as to that discovery, you thinking you're missing something or you should have something else in discovery?
No, ma'am, I didn't receive the discovery in a timely manner. Counsel was ineffective with sharing the discovery footage or the reports with me. I asked on multiple occasions to obtain the video so that I could build a proper defense. And they told me on multiple occasions that it had to be approved by the prosecutor and redacted, which never happened. I waited and waited, never happened. And after counsel's ineffectiveness, this is where I made the choice to proceed sui juris because I had my own best interest in mind. And it seems that the public defenders that were appointed to me were not assisting me effectively. And this was recreating a manifest injustice. So now I have received it a few days before we're supposed to be going to trial. I have reviewed the footage and there is fraudulent and misleading statements made by the trooper that I have already submitted a motion to suppress that evidence that I'm sure the court will be getting shortly.
Okay. And so all right, so we're a couple weeks before trial or before confirmation. We've got trial scheduled the 18th. So we're 3 weeks out. All right.
Yeah, I would ask the court that either the prosecutor or counsel be sanctioned or some remedy be met for the violation of the discovery rules.
Well, I'm not finding there's a basis in your pleadings or what I've heard today to sanction anyone for a violation of discovery. So I'm not going to do that. And now you're also, I mean, I don't know if this was dealt with, but throughout your pleadings, you're concerned about this district court having jurisdiction over you. Is that still at issue, sir?
Yes, there was some service issues, as I mentioned before, which for some reason keeps getting ignored. The state served my address knowing well that I was in custody. They didn't serve me the court docket